Hey guys. And he was kind of beating all around the bush, and he said the reason was because really the person he has back home is his fin dom, and that she finally, and I was like, what? That's a thing?
But there's applying it, and then there's the actual action of communication.
Right.
Like when you discipline a child, you tell
Keep going. And then when we do it, you gotta say, "Scissor me, daddy," like that. All right?
No, you know.
This is
Different.
not the fucking thing to do. Like,
They think that's normal.
I got you, like, buddy. I can't help her.
Minutes later, I see a pizza slide under my door. No contact. Like, I'm good.
You see the pizza slide under the door with the hands, and your fucking hands slam down on top of it and grab it.
We have an initial physical type of what we like to see initially, because our eye is always drawn to something. I can see a tall guy, big and broad shoulders, and I'm like, ooh, nice. But if he talks to me, and I'm be like, maybe not. Okay, so Mike, until we get the rest of the guys in, do you want to start with your first question for us ladies? First of all, are you drinking a Capri Sun?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. First things first, what is happening?
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Glad to be
Nothing.
back.
I know,
Glad
right?
to be back.
Yeah, I'm somewhat glad to be back.
Somewhat?
No, I'm playing. I'm happy as shit. I'm happy the motherfucker. Hey,
Okay.
what's going on? Okay. Oh, I see everybody in there. All right. Listen, everybody, welcome back to the We Got Questions podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Mike Hennessy, aka Mr. Hennessy. I'm joined with the basic one. Yes, I got it on point.
No, you didn't. I'm over here on the other side of you. Point that. No.
Can I finally get one?
Put your fingers down. You're in the opposite direction of me anyway.
Please, just one.
You're pointing in the opposite direction of where I actually am in the screen.
Fuck.
I'm not doing it.
All right. Whatever. I'm gonna get somebody to scissor with me. Anyway, well, like I said, once again, welcome to the We Got Questions podcast. I'm excited to be back. It's been too long
Right.
stroke long
Right.
as months.
We took a season break. Well, that was like our this is like what season, we'll just say this is season 2 of We Got Questions podcast.
We got a season 2.
This is season 2.
Listen, and the good part about it is that people have been excited and hyped and they wanted to see this, and that's the part. People have been wanting to see us and get back to this. And I like the fact that people have been inquiring and asking, like, where the fuck are y'all? That's the part. When you was looking for me, I wasn't here, but now I'm back.
Welcome, Chief.
Oh, we got Chief in the building? Oh, shit. We got a young Chief. What's up, Chief?
Not young.
How are
Chief.
you? No, he's not like that. Sounds like a
Chief.
rapper. But once again, like I said, welcome in. Today we are talking about, which will be basics. I'm just going to be here just to do this beginning part, but for the most part, the ladies are going to be doing all the talking. We are talking about women's mental health awareness. Basically, you can kind of go into describing how this is going to look.
First of all, hi everybody. I've missed y'all. I hope y'all missed us too.
My bad.
These next few episodes are big ones for us. We are doing a mental health series, and this first one is going to be women's mental health. Our second part will be next week, Monday at 7 p.m. and we'll do a men's mental health awareness episode where we'll have a panel of men who'll be up here doing the same thing, only specific to men. We want to talk about all the things though, and we did feel like it's a big enough issue that we want to separate it, because men and women, while I'm sure the lines do lap over things that we tend to deal with, there are a lot of things that are very specific to women and men that we each individually experience, and so we just wanted to talk about it. hear different stories, hopefully create better understanding and community. And I'm excited. Like, I think it should be a good show. I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say.
Yeah, I'm excited for that part too. I'm excited just to be here and listen to these women talk about their stuff, because guess what? It ain't no way in hell I wasn't going to be on this episode. I ain't been here in a minute. I'm all excited and shit, jittery. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I had coffee. I ain't drink shit.
Really?
Yeah, interesting. You know what I'm about to drink? This ice cold ass water presented by Purified, great value. It's going to taste amazing going down my throat.
Okay.
Pause.
All right. Right. Yes.
What's a husky pause? Yo, Big Smooth, what's going on? Everybody on the TikTok side?
This is an adult drink. It's not Kool-Aid.
Word? Prove it. No, I'm playing. You good.
I can prove it. I can prove it. My eyes will prove it. In about 30 minutes, my eyes will prove it for us.
Wait, what?
What's happening?
Yeah, it says something. Anyway, so we're gonna bring the ladies up one by one. As the ladies come up, we're gonna have y'all talk about your business or something that y'all do, or where they can find you at. We're gonna do this in the beginning, and we will finish this at the end. But anybody that is watching, share it out, like it, subscribe to us, and I hope that you guys sit back and are enjoying a great episode right now. So we're gonna bring up Miss Tony Baloney and
Hi.
Butterfly.
I was about to say, fix it, Mike. Fix it.
No.
I know. I was like, Mike.
No. I'm trying to take some off the screen.
Damn. I said, oh, damn, I'm gonna have to describe our shit.
She never
but go ahead,
does.
ladies. Tell them where they can follow y'all.
Of course, you can definitely follow us together for our podcast, Butterfly and Baloney, on YouTube and all socials at Butterfly and Baloney. And of course, follow us individually at The Butterfly Assassin and at Tony X Baloney on all her socials, and including Twitch.
I would have fucked all that up.
I can't. You can find all of those good links on Linktree at Butterfly B&B.
Okay, cool. All right, make sure y'all follow them on there. Everybody that's on the TikTok side, thank y'all for stopping through and liking the live. I can see y'all over there, but make sure y'all following us right here on YouTube. We are live right now. We got Questions Podcast. Make sure y'all are following Butterfly and Baloney Podcast. They talk about fun shit. I was on one of the episodes. I'm definitely coming back. They funny as hell.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy them. And watching them is even funnier.
Yeah, we had fun. We did have fun.
Yeah. So all right, we're gonna bring up now when I bring up you, Diva, I need you to do your spiel. That's you going last. Because her joint fire. I'm telling you, I'm gonna love it. All right. Let's catch the one that's not looking at the screen.
Wow, Mike.
I was trying to help me catch it.
Mike. Mental health awareness night.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Tread lightly.
I apologize.
Thank you.
All right, CC.
Business. I would like to say though, I am a professional reposter. So if you send me something, I'm going to repost you.
Nice.
And I support. So
That's
nice.
what's up.
I like it.
what I do. So you got to send it to me. Though. I ain't going to see it. So
Yes.
don't have to work. Okay.
Thanks. Okay. All right. So the professional reposted, and now we have a person that I had a live with her and my friend Cynthia, Blue Rain, actually Cynthia Coleman. So I had a live with her, and I met this lady, and she does books, and I'm like, I got to read these books. I don't even read books like that. I'm gonna read this shit. Yeah.
Oh,
here we go, Miss R.K. Kenton. Renton?
hello.
Renton?
Wait,
You're on mute.
Hold on. I got you.
Okay, blessings, everyone. Good evening.
Hi.
Good evening.
I should say hello from Nebraska.
From Nebraska.
Yes, from the Port Hotel.
Oh, what happened to my live? Hold on. Did my live stop, Basic?
It did. I was gonna tell you separately.
Okay. Anyway. Let's continue on. All right, so let's talk about your business and your books and stuff like that.
Me? No, I thought I was grandson like that. Me? Gosh, yes. I'm author Arthur Renton. I reside here in Nebraska. I started writing a couple years ago just to kind of deal with the depression of losing my nephew. He was tragically taken from us in 2014. So I was trying to figure out what to do with my life. And so I started writing. Well, I was reading, and then I was like, oh, well, I got a whole bunch of stories and my imagination can go left. So let's go left. And so I started, when Gun Ho started and I dropped 2 books and I was like, okay, I'm great. And that's all I wanted. And then it took on a life of its own. So I'm currently now working on 7 and 8 in the series to close the series out.
Wow.
And it's cost me a lot to sit in this office in the dark just working on this. But it is an interracial build. It doesn't start off that way. My other light went off. It doesn't start off that way. And so the story basically is about Kia, and she has to decide who she's going to stay in relationship with a guy that she used to love, a friend that she falls in love with, and then a handsome stranger. So she's trying to manage her love lives along with building a business and being a friend and, what's good for her. And so when stuff starts to go south, she has to decide, does she stay or does she go? And because I'm dramatic to a default, I decided to leave it on the cliffhanger. And so then that's where book 2 comes in.
Nice.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, we're going to see. That's what I'm saying. I want to check this out and get into it. And
we're gonna see, because you may be like my husband, sitting on the cliffhanger trying to figure out what comes next.
Hey, that's fine with me. I'm down with the cliffhangers. I'm down with that. All right. I was reading somebody else's podcast. All right. So bringing on the last person, Miss D. We call her CRV Diva on TikTok, but she has her actual name here today. So turn your camera to the side.
I'm sorry. We're gonna see if it's gonna cooperate.
There you go. Bam.
There we go.
Woo-hoo. I look tall.
Good
You look tall sitting down. Nice.
I look tall.
All right.
Mike.
I'm sorry.
Really, Mike?
I'm sorry.
Hey, y'all. My name is Cynthia, and I have a podcast called Sports Sense, where I get to the heart and soul of your competitive spirit by exploring the passion behind your connection to sports. Also, on Wednesday nights, 7:27 p.m. Eastern, I host my show, Big Up Your Biz, on CRV Diva, on TikTok, Sports Sense on Instagram, and CRV Diva on Facebook. This is where businesses get a chance to come in and talk about themselves. You never know what might happen, who you may meet. You may get customers, new clients, business partners, the business you want to patronize. So make sure you tune in to 7:27 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. And talk about your business. And also, check out my podcast, Sports Sense, here on YouTube. New episode dropping this week.
Hey, here we go. That's what I'm talking about. See, that's why I got her to do it. I ain't doing that.
No, I remember Mike telling us about you.
Mm-hmm.
Yay! Make sure you come on in.
That'd be dope. If you get both of them at the same time, that shit gonna be hilarious.
I'm always ready.
All right, ladies, it's time to get into the meat into it. Like, obviously know why we here. I'm asking questions, but Basic has question too. We're going to spend about 5 minutes each person. I'll just pick a person, and y'all go ahead and talk about their questions, and give y'all answers, and then we try to move on to the next person. I'm hearing myself.
Not that you guys have to. You guys don't have to. Don't feel pressure to talk for 5 minutes if you don't have 5 minutes.
No. It's not that. I'm just saying we're gonna try to get about 5 minutes.
Don't prepare. You don't have to think about preparing a speech, but
No, you don't. We just try to get everybody a chance to speak, because I know people got things to do after this, and there's sleep that gotta happen. There's food. weed.
Who needs sleep?
Cats, dogs.
What's that?
You know, it's a lot of stuff that got to go down. So
yeah.
But all right. So, would you want to go first, or you want me to go?
I'll kick it off. And then, yeah.
Right.
So first of all, for everybody who's here, if you guys haven't already given us a shout out or said hello, please let us know that you're here and say hi. Also, make sure that you share us out, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and give us a heart, to let us know that you like the show. Share and tell a friend, because I'm sure there's plenty of us who've gone through a lot of the same things, and we like to hear about shared experiences, everyone's experiences. It's all a part of like the growing and learning process here. So ladies, Mike has some good questions for us. A lot of my things, and please feel free, like if you guys have questions yourself, like don't think we just have to follow mine and Mike's questions. We just have some things that we of course want to talk about, but I'm sure that as time goes, we'll be talking, and different things and situations might pop up, and feel free. Same for everybody who's in the comments as well. If you have questions, please, this is We Got Questions. Please feel free to ask them.
I might not answer.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Before we start, I just want to say I definitely missed you guys, and I was really, I was one of the people that was looking for y'all every Monday, like, hey, what's up, what's going on? So I am happy to be back here with y'all.
Thank you so much. We're happy. We're actually really happy to be back. Like me and Mike talk like every so often, be like, when are we doing this? Like, when are we coming? When are we coming?
It was a debate. It was a debate. We didn't know what was going on. Becky. She made it.
I know that we all probably have different journeys in when we became like more aware of our mental health. I'm just curious, like for each of you, has your mental health and how you take care of your mental health and the awareness and how you take care of yourself, has that always been like something that you've done all of your life, or did it come like later when you really started to realize that it was important and you had to take more care of yourself and really be aware of what was going on with you?
Who's going to answer this? Let's go ahead with RK. We're going to start with you. Now, RK, I have a habit of putting you on the Summer Jam screen. You're going to learn what this is real quick. Go ahead.
Look, there's you.
Possible.
Wow!
All truly white. Mm-hmm.
Did I put? No, I didn't. I knew I needed to put it on the radar when I lost my nephew, because I could immediately feel what I knew as my foundation starting to slip. And I'm usually a really solid person. Like, I'm like, nothing's going to shake me. And it was the following day, I was like, oh, I'm about to lose my, I'm not going to cuss. I'm about to lose my bat over here. Right.
Yeah.
And so I followed up with a therapist, and they were like, this is normal and you're going to be fine. And here it is, we're coming up on almost 10 years, and I still don't feel like I have a grasp of what happened to my life. And then I kind of rolled into menopause at the same, around the same time as well. And unfortunately, the most we know about menopause is grandmas and mamas were moons, right? And it was never explained that you do feel like you're losing it. And it's you, but it's not you. It's a part of life. It sucks. And even though you can have a therapist and you're on hormone replacement therapy and you have a great support system, you can still feel like, just put me in a padded cell.
Right.
Because this is better than what I'm feeling. Because you don't feel like yourself. The person that you felt like you were at one particular point in time, and it's now you're losing the ability to, it's not just about bringing life. Mine was through surgery, so I lost my reproductive system. So it was like, well, this is a traumatic experience. So now I gotta add something else onto this plate, and nobody's talking to me about what I'm feeling. And how do I stay? I had to figure out how to stay sane.
I get it.
Sorry.
Mike, you can switch me out with put me up. You. I don't know.
Summer Jam screen.
Oh. Whoa. I there's something that you said that kind of resonated with me. For me, it was not all my life. I remember thinking my first experience happened. My daughter was very, very young. I probably want to say it's probably like 2011-ish, maybe. I had a mental breakdown, and I didn't really know what was happening to me. That was the same year, I think, that I was also diagnosed with anxiety and depression, mild depression and anxiety disorder. But my family, we did not talk about, emotions and feelings and mental health issues. And it wasn't something that I was very familiar with. I had an aunt who had previously been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I remember all of us being like very clueless as to like what that even was. And probably because of that, we probably were really insensitive to what she was dealing with and her journey in that process. I just remember conversations of people like not understanding why she couldn't turn it off and why she couldn't just snap back into reality, and being angry because she couldn't just be her normal self. But it was lack of education. And when I had my experience, I remember thinking, I'm going crazy. I remember thinking anything feels better than what I feel right now. And it made me consider things that I knew was dangerous. Like I was considering if I wanted to live, because I couldn't understand what I was feeling. I didn't know that I could get help. I thought I was losing my mind. I didn't think that there was any recovery. I felt very out of control, and I knew it wasn't me. I remember having a conversation with my mom at the time and saying, something is wrong. And I don't know what it is, but something's very wrong with me. I know that something's not right. And I remember her response being something so silly. For the longest time, it used to be something like, well, maybe you just need to go on a diet. Because she really didn't know.
What?
Like she didn't know what it meant. She didn't understand that it was something chemically here. But that's when I really started on my journey and decided to really be conscious of it, and also to educate my daughter, because I never wanted her to be in the same the same shoes I was in when it happened to me. I also wanted her to understand her moods. I wanted her to understand how to handle things when it happened, and healthy ways to handle, different things. And, that, even though medication was a route that I took, it didn't have to be the first route she took. We really wanted to be fully educated and explore everything. But it wasn't until, my 30s, until I really had any clue about being educated about like my mental health and what that meant for me and what it can mean for other people.
I'll go.
Okay. Go ahead.
For me, it was basically somewhat of the same way with basic. It wasn't something that I've thought about, or it wasn't something that I've taken care of growing up. It was definitely something that I thought more and was more conscious of as I became a mother. I was blessed to have two moms, my birth mom, and I was also adopted when I was a teenager. And I love both my moms to death, don't get me wrong, but my biological mother coped with her emotions and her mental health with drugs. And my adoptive mom kind of was more sheltered off from her emotions, where she kind of just like shut them off. And when I became a mom, I knew I didn't want to do either or when it came to my kids, because they both just seemed like very unhealthy, pathways for me. But I definitely trying to not, like lack of a better term, fuck up my kids. I kind of developed anxiety like crazy. And it got to the point where like any little mishap with my kids, whether they got sick and I had to go to the hospital like with them, and or doctor visits, they all started causing me extreme anxiety.
Someone has feedback. Is that me?
I don't know. I don't hear it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead.
But it was definitely when I started when my anxiety attacks became a frequent thing, where the littlest things of a thunderstorm happening and my mind immediately going to worst case scenario of losing power and just being stuck in the house by myself with the kids, and that's when I realized, like, okay, no one else is thinking this drastic just straight off bat. So I needed to get that under control. And I definitely wanted to learn healthier ways to cope with my emotions so that I can teach my children healthier ways to do so as well, especially since I have all boys. And mental health and men, period, and especially having Black boys is not really something that's expressed often in our community, and I didn't want that stigma to follow my kids.
Okay. Cece, you want to go?
Yeah. Okay. So like everybody else, really early on, no, my childhood definitely didn't have the support or anything. No one took care of themselves. It was everybody was taking care of everybody. I come from such a big family. I think even when I had my first son, I was 20 years old. I still had so many people to lean on, and it was still just like a go, go, go. You could not sit and relax. It wasn't until my second son, who's now only 4 years old, so he was born during COVID, that at that point I'm in charge of a household. There was no support because I couldn't see anybody. So I had no one to lean on. And so that's when, just like Basic said, I had my like breakdown of stuff. And then looking back at other things, I'm like, that's something no one ever did. From my grandmother to my great grandmother being in my life until I was almost 18 years old, like just seeing those women, they never had any time for themselves. It was always taking care of children and taking care of the men, and just what was mental health? What was therapy? The only person that came to, kind of let me know, hey, there are some other options. You need to take care of yourself was my sister. But she had already, after college, moved away from home. And that's when she started going through her issues and sought out therapy. And so then it was like, get therapy, get therapy, get therapy. She's telling everybody, my mom, my brothers, everyone. It was like, no, this stigma behind it is not true. We need help. And only those that were really open to it, like myself, got into it and got the help that I needed. But I could tell you, my family line, no, from both sides, both my parents, therapy is not something you do. You don't talk about your emotions. You hold it in. You push forward. You don't get to have a breakdown. And that's simply just not true. And my dad also, he actually ended up going to family therapy with me. And that really I saw him in a different light because I didn't grow up with him in my life. And there were things that came out that I'm like, oh, that's why you are the way you are. And now I have the capacity to deal with him when I need to. But before that, my whole life, up until when I had my son, like 35, no, that was not a thought at all. So I'm grateful that I was able to do it now and see, like, I need help. I want help. I cannot do it alone. And the support that I want to have is the support of also me having a voice and me still being able to say, I need help this way, not the way that you think I need to have it.
Right.
And that's more important for me now to realize actually on that end. So.
Damn. Okay. So I'm going to put it on the screen real quick because I love what everybody's saying, but do you have new people possibly coming in? Welcome to the We Got Questions podcast. We are doing a Women's Mental Health Awareness Day. Basically, we just asking questions and talking about different things that, affect women and affect y'all mental health and the things that y'all go through on a daily basis that we don't understand as men or as people in society. You got to think we're in a presidential debate right now where you literally are fighting for women's rights on one side. And another side, you possibly fighting against a war because it's something happening in other places that obviously is going on. So you got to be tuned in to know. But I do appreciate everybody for coming up here and sitting here and telling their story. We got more people, but I just want to throw that in there real quick. So I hope that y'all are enjoying it and it isn't making you guys too triggered or bothered. I'm checking in with you. As the only man in here, I'm going to check in with y'all. Make sure y'all good. How you doing, Rashonda? How you doing?
Hey, Shonda.
So, All right, getting back to the Summer Jam screen. Tony, you up? Let's go get them playing.
I'm answering the same question, right?
Yes.
No, it's pretty much like the other ladies, you know. Growing up, I didn't see a point in that type of thing. Like Nan said, you know, I feel like in the Black community, when it comes to mental health and everything, it's not like really like brought up or really talked about enough. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like, you know, my epiphany when I realized I really needed help came just like how Basic said hers, how she was sitting there saying, "What's wrong with me? What's wrong with something wrong with me?" I was in the middle of work. I was working at Wally World, the happiest place on earth. I'm telling you, folding clothes, folding little boys' drawers by like a second, like moving them out by a second, panicking, and I knew was something wrong with me. I had to stand in the corner and I started crying to myself, just like, what's going on? Like something is not right. Like something is bad. And I do think that I feel like having the tools to recognize that type of stuff is somewhat of a privilege. You know what I'm saying? Not so much now in this time, but I think growing up back then, when we were growing up, I feel like it was a privilege to have those types of tools, because like now we're talking about mental health. Now we're acknowledging what's going on and everything. Mm-hmm. But back then, like, I don't know, like it was just shunned, you know, and I feel like that's part of how like everything snuck up on me, because I've been through a lot. And I didn't realize until I went to therapy, till I started talking to somebody and I laid everything down, like how, like everything that's ever happened in my life. Like, and like, I should have been got fucking help. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that type of shit, that type of trauma that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of women, a lot of Black women too, have experienced, and you don't know how that shows up later on down the line and everything. And I feel like had we had those tools back then, had it been like an actual real discussion like it is now, because now people are taking it serious now. I definitely feel like we've been in a different situation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Oh, get me off the screen.
Come on. Let me get my thing.
You want me to start tapping into this?
Listen.
Like, there you making it awkward.
I'm not going to be ratchet because I was about to say shake something. But no, I mean, I'm just playing. I'm playing. All right. So, Miss Diva, come on up. Y'all about to hear a story because Diva get them stories. She get them stories. Okay.
So picture it, Texas, 19.
Texas.
Dude, I'm texting. Now see, one thing about my family, we always would check, hey, how you doing? And it would be a genuine question where people want to know, but I'm that kid or that person that's always asking other people, how are you doing? How are you feeling? And making sure that they're all right. Even today, do the same thing. But I think one of my come to Jesus moments was when my son was born. And here I am, 25 years old, got this little person, had a great pregnancy and all that, baby showers, going hanging out with friends and all this stuff. Me and his dad weren't together anymore. So, cool. Okay, yeah, I can do this. I've got friends that are single moms. My parents were divorced. My mom did it. I've got cousins that have done it. Piece of cake. Which being a parent wasn't the hard part. Being a mom was the hard part. Because then I realized I've got this little person who I am completely responsible for.
Absolutely.
I mean, everything from, making sure that he's taken care of physically, financially, and mentally. And when I tell you, my mom came and stayed with me for maybe 2 weeks after he was born. And the day I dropped my mom off at the airport going back home, I got home with him. I'm like, okay, now we doing this on our own. I cried for maybe from the time I got home, cried myself to sleep. I was still functionally, taking care of him and feeding him and changing his diaper. I know, Charlie, just chill. I'm getting to you. I'm sorry, Charlie got something to say. And I'm crying. And then he's crying. And then my mom gets home and she's checking on me. And I'm like, I guess a little person. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. She's like, oh my God. And the threat my mom had, stop it or I'm going to call your dad and send him over there. Because my dad was in the corner from me. And I'm like, okay, all right. Because, my dad, and I'm a daddy's girl. And the one thing I hated was for my dad to see me crying. Because then he would just, my dad was as emotional as I was at the point. I cried for, I'll say probably another couple weeks. Still hadn't gone back to work. So again, it's me and this baby together. When I tell you, I learned a whole lot about myself during that time, especially physically. And then I learned about, I would sit there and have conversations with a 4-week-old baby like I'm talking to an adult. And I'm like, okay, you got to stop crying. Because I've got to feed you. Now I'm going to change you, but I'm going to need you to not start crying again, okay? Because we got to come to an understanding here. Because you're stuck with me. God gave you to me, He gave me to you, so we got to work this out. And I felt like He was listening. So I decided at that point I've never talked to him baby talk. So I got through that, but I realized, okay, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. Now, fast forward to now, I'm cool. I still talk to him like that. Still call him the same little nickname. I'm going to say it. I know this is the internet. It's forever. I call him Munchkin. I called him Munchkin from day 1 to year 32. But I realized that as much as I'm checking in with everybody else, I had to check in with myself. And I'm going to tell you, if my dogs could talk, I'd be in trouble because I talk to them all the time. And they can't feel secret there. Okay. But I realized after talking to a friend a couple weeks ago, that there was something that I hadn't forgiven myself for something that happened to me when I was in college. And so now I'm in the process of forgiving myself because what happened to me was not my fault, but I felt like partially it was. So I've started forgiving myself for that. And then as I look back on things that have happened in my life, I realize all of that stems from me still feeling I was partially to blame for what happened. So I've slowly started to, go through the filing cabinet in my head. Because I'm one of those people, I can remember time, places, and events exactly as they happened with total recall, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But now I'm in the process of starting to forgive myself and have finally decided, well, I don't know if they finally, but have decided I do need therapy to continue to work through that. Because as much as, they say you can't pour from an empty cup. As much as I know that I love helping other people, making sure other people are okay. Now, I'm always in a good mood. I very rarely have bad moods or, if I get sad about something, I don't stay there. I get out. I can perk myself up or find something to do that makes me happy, whether it's crafting or sports. But I still know that I need to have someone else, a professional, to sift through a lot of things with. And I'm working on that now. Mind you, I'm that person. I'm looking for a therapist. I've got it. It took me, about 2 weeks to narrow it down to the 2 people I've narrowed it down to. It may take me another week to decide between those 2 because whoever I get, I ain't doing it but once. You get one shot. And if I don't like you, it's going to take me a whole nother month to go through all these people over again and find somebody else. But I know I need it. As much as I can talk to friends and everything, your friends are going to be a little biased towards you. And that's not all. Well, some of them will. There's going to be some that'll be like, no, shut up. You do it this way. But I need someone who's not personally connected to me to help me get through things that I need to get through. Now, mind you, I'm saying it now as far as I know. I'm going to always be happy, smiling, joke, making sure that everybody's okay. But I also realize now I have to make sure that I'm okay. So I may have a day where I'm not going to say you won't hear from me. It'll be, hey, how you doing? I'm here. Yeah, I'm still breathing. The dogs haven't taken me out. As many dirty looks as Cherok's giving me today, she's still letting me exist in my house. I'm good. and do what I have to do, and then get back into it, because I am a health nurturer at heart. I want to make sure everybody's fine, everybody's okay, everybody's happy. Y'all good? All right, then I can good. So I have been convinced to even take a vacation for probably the first time in 40 years, maybe. Yeah. So
that was me this year.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Good stuff, Diva. I'm proud of you. As what Becky wrote in the comments, she is proud of you. I think everybody is a collective, and just hearing these stories, I think we are. As the only man that's sitting up on here, if there's other men that's watching, I would think that we love what we're hearing, because I feel like this is we don't need to just learn, we need to apply. We really, really do. I'm all about applying these things. Like, I make mistakes just like everybody else do, and all I want to do is just listen. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do nothing. I just want to hear what y'all got going on, and the shit that y'all deal with, because this shit is real out here, especially when you're an adult. As much as I love being an adult,
I don't like this shit. It's ghetto.
Life be whooping my ass. It's regular shit. You get your ass whooped by something you can't see. Motherfucker out here stealing the shit out of me. Bang! What the fuck was that?
Life is ghetto. I don't like it.
Just wake up and just get punched.
The bills suck, but being able to lay in your bed whenever the fuck you want to is a blessing.
No, but I can't though, because I need to lay in my bed whenever I want to. Even though my day is off, these little people is at my door talking about some mommy when it's breakfast at 5:30. Like, they just open their eyes.
Well, you gotta make sure he ain't got no blood on him next time. This is an insider, y'all. The kid came to the door, he was bleeding with no blood. Bleeding with no blood. But we're gonna check these comments real quick. Becky has been very, very active in the comments. She is my star commenter of the day. She lighting this thing up. So Forward Vibration said, you deserve the support to navigate through your experiences, work your process, and keep trusting yourself. Love you. It's a beautiful thing. You're welcome.
That's my girl.
Beautiful to hear. Yes. The Amazingly Dope podcast. Becky says adulthood is the roughest hood ever. Yeah, because you're in the hood. Big ghetto. Right. Before Vibration said apply, so the reality doesn't seem like a lie. Right. Joe, it's been a minute. Look, he ready for his questions. Look at him. Basic. Joe got his questions ready. What's up, Joe?
Hey, Joe.
Joe, we having men's mental health awareness next week. I will message you if you want to come on for the first time. Please do. All right. He said, blessings to the beautiful panel. Question for everyone. Is there someone from your past you still think about what could have been, or your energy is for a new person in your life? What you thinking? Basically,
you know what's funny? I actually, for those, of course, no one knows, but my birth mom is currently in the hospital. We're dealing with that overall, so everyone is kind of like reaching out to me, and one of the only exes of mine that I actually talked to that I'm on a good basis with called me and was like, we were talking, and it's funny because we had that conversation. I'm single. Everyone knows that I'm single. I'm not looking for anything. I'm not interested in nothing. I'm happy with just me, right? And he's currently in a relationship, and it's funny because we were talking about how everyone that knew us back then when we were together, and then everyone that that we still keep in contact now that we're not, and we haven't been for almost 13, 14 years, are still shipping us together. And I don't think that we think of what could have been. I think we more or less kind of just we appreciate what we had then. And then we appreciate the friendship that has grown from the relationship that we had from all those years ago, and the fact that we can still stay friends from what we've learned. We were young. I was 19 when we broke up. I was 17 when we met. So I'll be 32 next month. So for us to still have that amazing friendship that we have it's definitely amazing. And one of the longest friends that I've had. But we don't think about what could have been anymore. the stuff maybe 10 years ago, but now we just appreciate the friendship that has grown from that time.
We're done? I'm sorry.
For me, at this point in my life, no.
Oh.
Quick answer, absolutely not.
Straight to the answer.
Yeah.
Nope, I believe that everything works together for my good. Go ahead, you can go.
I'm with basic. No.
I
can't have no past hoes fucking up my future hoes. Absolutely not. Get behind me, sit in the dark cloud. Get it from around my door frame. I don't want it.
Yeah. I can't think of anybody from, you mean as far as somebody that I think I missed out on in my past?
Yeah, like you're just wondering if what could have been if it would have been if you guys would have stayed together.
I mean, I wouldn't, I'd probably be in the pen, but no. Because what?
Nothing. You ain't tell these people. Only certain people in here. Well, Cece knows and Becky knows how you just got the shovel and what else?
Duct tape.
Duct tape.
Yeah.
Lord.
Right here. Bought a whole new roll of red too. But anyway, no, there are. At one point, there was a person that I thought maybe I missed out on, but so I did. What I will do. I Google searched and I looked like, dodge that bullet. So no, good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, yeah.
Is everybody else a resounding no? I'm pretty sure it's like no.
Damn.
I've been with my husband since I was 18, so
yeah, no.
Who am I holding space for? I've been with my husband since I was 18, so who am I holding space for?
Right.
I can't be holding space for my two older children's fathers. They didn't matter. They mattered enough to make me people. That was about it. Who am I holding space for? And if I'm holding space for somebody else, then I'm cheating my husband of what we can grow into. So no, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry, did anybody not get to answer that?
Everybody answered.
Okay. I just wanted to say, and you don't have to put me up, Mike, because I'm sure all the
I'm not going to do the Summer Jam screen again.
No, I'm just saying this doesn't have to be like what I was about to say. It doesn't have to have like a long response to. I was just wondering how you ladies feel about this. There were so many things from our last question that struck a nerve in me as you guys were talking, because I feel
I seen it.
Sure, as we're all listening, we'll all be like, yep, that's it. I felt like that. But I feel like we all, of course, have a general, we all generally feel like we didn't necessarily or may not necessarily have been given the tools to even understand what mental health was to us. But I wonder if any of y'all feel like this, because I feel like this. I still, to this point, have a tough time, even though I'm very into my mental health. I'll talk about it. I'm not shy about it. I'll talk about it with other people. I still sometimes struggle with it in terms of feeling like at my lowest point. Sometimes I still feel like it's a weakness, and I think it stems from we grew up watching our mothers who didn't talk about their struggles, who didn't talk about themselves being depressed, feeling and watching them and thinking that they can do it all. And sometimes we carry that guilt of why can't I do it all? Because we
every day.
We watched them for they didn't say a thing. They could have been going through the worst stuff and feelings, and they didn't ever say a thing about it. It probably was very hard, but they bottled that stuff up. And because of that, I think, and especially initially for me when I first started struggling, I was like, I don't understand, why can't I just push through? Why am I so worried and scared and I can't handle it? My mom didn't complain about nothing. You know what I mean? I don't do y'all feel like watching your mother, the thumbs up, do y'all feel like watching your mothers, that was a struggle for you too? Because you're if she could, it makes you feel like maybe I'm failing a little bit.
That was the first thing for me. It was the first thing for me with, my grandmother raised me because of the issues that my biological mom had, and even my adopted mom. Either or, like you said, they every day power through, and nothing was ever wrong, and everything was always so controlled when they came to showing it to me, and it was one of the first things as a mother for me when I felt everything that I was feeling every day made me think, oh my God, what the hell am I doing wrong that I can't get this together? What the hell is wrong with me? But it's also one of the first things that I realized when I went into therapy and talking about, my mom, both and my grandmother and expressing how they were. And then my therapist telling me, no, that's not how that's how you saw it, but that's not really what they were going through. And I need you to understand that they were human too, but they just didn't want it. I don't want my children to see me as Superwoman because I don't want them to ever feel like they're not allowed to be vulnerable. As we all were saw through our mom, we all looked at our mothers as super mom, as Superwoman. They were capable of doing everything and nothing could ever go wrong. And I do not want my children to have that complex of feeling like that's just how it's going to be. And that if they don't feel like they can achieve something, then they're broken or they're failing at something. It was literally the first thing that happened for me. Honestly, it was.
Yeah.
I actually don't feel that way. Like, looking back at my mom, I'm like, that's why she yelled so much. She wasn't pushing through anything. Just yelling, my grandmother yelling. It was just yelling. I thought that was normal. That's how much it was happening. I was like, that's normal. She wasn't pushing through nothing. She still did it, but she was yelling all the whole way. Doing it. Everybody knew the family line. You as much as like even now CRV, right? That's my girl. Support circle, right? But we call each other when we're happy. We call each other when we're sad. My mom calling the family tree all the time.
Being messy.
Right. I could hear the conversations, right? Back, she wasn't pushing through. I mean, yeah, she's a functioning adult, but she was not doing it well. It was terrible. And I now am more consciously aware. I don't want to yell. I don't want to be that. So I rather be quiet in that depression than to take it out on my children or anybody else that's in the space.
I can get that.
Yeah, like it's a little bit weird. Like then, yes, I did. I thought, man, she's doing it all. But now I look back, she wasn't doing nothing.
It's so funny. It's so funny that you say that because even though, I'm sorry, Sierra, I promise I won't make this long.
Go ahead.
Even you saying that to this day, even though I thought my mom was Superwoman, I never put together the reason why she always was arguing was with the fact that she was not handling everything. Like, I was just like, my mom was just hard as nails and she'll tell anybody off in a heartbeat. That's where my mind always went. But I never put it with, yeah, maybe she isn't handling life so well because she keep going off on all of us. Like
every day.
Okay.
And everybody getting it.
Now, see, my experience was a little like Cece's. My mom was the most emotional creature I have ever met in my life, and it used to just drive me crazy. I mean, my mom, somebody would say something to my mom, and she would just give, and I'm like, oh my God, lady, get it together. I mean, and because I'm my mom's only child, a lot of times when she would be sad or she would cry, and it's not that I'm unemotional, but I'm that person. Okay, this is how you feel. Okay, well, let's just deal with it. No, not my mom. My mom didn't know what YouTube is, so I think I'm safe. But she would cry. She'd be on the phone with maybe one of my aunts and crying, and then they're crying with her. And I think that's why I was crying when I had my kid by myself, because I wanted to make sure I didn't do that with her. Maybe that's it. It wasn't me. It was my mom. And I would just, and even in high school, and I'm gonna tell you, I was, still am, an angel in high school. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't skip school. I was in all the activities and this, that, and the other. I knew my schedule and could do all that, and then still come home and cook dinner because our rule was first person gets home cook. I'm in school. Of course, I'm the first one that gets home, so I'm cooking. Maybe I was the mom. Anyway, so. She would come home from work. She was a nurse. She'd come home and she'd just be, I had this patient, this, that, and the other. We call my mom Nurse Ratchet because I know, Charlie, I'm talking about Granny. You'll be fine. We call my mom Nurse Ratchet because my mom could come in. She could give you a shot with a needle, yank your arm off to take your blood pressure and give you a nice, how do you do, and move on. And you better be well by the time you leave her office or she's coming to your house to see you. But at home, oh my God, she's like, I just don't understand this. And she would cry. And then I can do one itty bitty little thing wrong. You know, let's say I burned a steak. I don't think that's a big deal. We got cows in the yard. You know, you get a steak anytime. I burn a steak. I don't understand how you burn a steak. You weren't paying attention when I told you how to cook it. I'm like, oh, it's just a steak. And she would just, and I'm like, okay, lady, I'm gonna need you to pull it together, because this ain't it. First of all, yelling at me is not gonna help. So, my mom way more emotional, and I guess it skips a generation because my son is that way, and I'm like, y'all people are just. I mean, my son, when he gets upset, he will call. Now he'll hold it in for a minute. He's a little bit of me, a little bit of my mom. He'll hold it in, and the littlest thing will set him off. And I'm looking at him like, you know what? I'm gonna need y'all are wrecking me emotionally. But to this day, my mom will call. I don't know what I ever did. I'm like, oh, jeez. Okay, mom. Okay, yeah. And then I'll call my aunt. Can you go talk to her? Because she's about to call me back in about 10 minutes, and I got stuff to do. Can you talk to her? And my aunt was like, well, you know how your mom is. Yeah, I know. Can you talk to her? But I love my mom. I really, 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 really do love my mom. But the tears, the whining, and if it were like once in a while, then I'd be okay. But now I feel like I'm her therapist, and I'm not. I'm great at being a parent to a boy. I'm horrible at being a parent to a teenager, and that's what I call my mom. She's a senior teenager. No. But you know, I'm learning to deal with her emotions, because I'm just like, now what I've discovered, and you know what, just call me petty. We just gonna go with that. If I start to cry first, then she's Nurse Ratched all over again. So I may answer. She may answer the call and answer the phone. Hey, Cindy, how you doing? I'm fine. What's the matter? What happened? Here we go. Good. It's gonna be a short conversation. We don't get through this. Nothing. I'm just having a rough day. I'm good. How you doing? Okay, baby. Well, you know, you need me. You let me know. Okay, mom. All right. Bye. All right. We're good. Okay, we got through that. We're good. So, yeah, and maybe that's manipulative too. I do need therapy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I mean, he was just emotional, and I just yeah.
That's the love of mothers. Like, some mothers is just different than others. RK, have you?
To answer the question, I'm an only girl. So I have an older brother and a young brother. So I was very aware of my mother's emotions all the time, because my older brother was in everything that he could get into that wasn't positive, he was in it. So you would see her have to shift her focus, or her primary focus be solely on trying to keep her son alive. And so that kind of left me with like the crumbs, you know what I mean? And I understand him, because I'm like, well, you got to grow up fast when you're in a house where somebody is constantly in and out of the system. And I remember recently, like, my mother just celebrated her 70th birthday, and there was an anniversary of sorts for the family. So her two older brothers had passed away. They were both drowned on the same day. And so my one aunt was trying to be so supportive in regards to like acknowledging my biological grandmother and my step grandfather for their help in working with foster kids. So my mom's like, do you know what this heifer did? And I'm like, well, what's going on? So she makes this proclamation, but the proclamation is about the loss of these two brothers, which happened to be that week. And it was my mother's birthday. And then when you start putting pieces together of this huge event for my mother's life, it was her brothers drowned on the 25th. They were buried on the 28th. Her birthday was the 29th. And one of the brothers' birthdays was on the 30th. So when she had started divulging all of this information to me, I said, oh, okay. So now I understand why you suppress when you are going through something. And while you're focused, you're like hyper vigilant and hyper focused on this one child, you suppress everything else concerning you, right? And recently, she's had lupus for like 10 years, right? So I'm like reading as much as I possibly can on lupus and autoimmune diseases. And it comes to find out that when women suppress what they're feeling, it then kicks in like this hyper, our immune systems don't know how to compensate for that. And
Absolutely.
it's not just it's Black women.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we are not like, oh my God, no, this is a no, this is a yes. We can do this. I can't do this. I refuse. If we don't start putting those boundaries in place, our bodies start to suffer for that.
100%.
And I was like, oh, well, we're not having that here. I said what I said. I meant what I said. If you didn't hear what I said when I said it, I'm gonna repeat it for you one more time. You know what I mean? Like I had to start being very loud with what I was saying. And I remember telling my therapist this, and she said, rephrase what you're thinking about how you speak. And I said, okay, women are the loudest silent screamers in the world. We can tell everybody what we need sometimes, and they don't notice that's us screaming like, help us, help me, help see me, right? And then we start to get silent. And we don't say anything anymore because we're tired of screaming for people to pay attention to us. It's like, well, we're gonna work through that. And I have 3 girls. I have 3 girls and 2 boys, and my girls are kind of in the middle. And so I got 2 Aquariuses or 2 Pisces and 1 Aquarius, and their emotions, being a mother of girls, I wasn't ready for it because I'm like, I know me. I'm an introvert. I can kind of just chill in the cut and you don't see me, and I can process, I can self-process or self-soothe what I'm dealing with, right? But then I have one child who is so emotional, and her emotions were like, they would spill over. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Who get it together? What is, and then I realized she needed to talk through all of what she was feeling. And sometimes it would be draining to me, but it was like therapeutic for her. Well, Mom, I'm trying to make sense of this. And I'm like, breathe. And then this. And I'm like, okay, so how do we make sense of this? So trying to balance my emotions, or then lack thereof, when you're going through menopause, and trying to then be emotional and then emotionally available to the people that I created, the husband that I'm married to, the grandchildren that I now have. There's a list.
Yeah.
You got grandbabies?
Yeah, I have 3.
I love it.
First off, can we just shout out being an introverted mom with extroverted children? This is a struggle, okay?
Everywhere.
Listen. Oh, Jesus.
Everywhere and everything.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Tony, did you get a chance to answer this?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I think, from my experience, I think from my experience, I didn't see my mother as like having like, I guess, her humanity until like, after she died. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, like I was always silly. Like I was always joking around, always playing around and everything. And anytime she needed to get a message to me, she would like be serious, because you got to be serious with me. Like if you want to get a message, because everything is fucking funny to me. And I think like a couple of weeks before she passed, she told me that she was tired. And I didn't quite get that until she passed. And then that's when a lot of things hit me, like reality. I had to grow up fast. I was only like 15. So many lessons happened that I wasn't ready for. It was a lot, and as I started to grow and I'm starting to gain things on my own, I'm trying to figure this shit out on my own. It comes to me that, she was just trying to figure shit out on her own too,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So that was my whole experience with that, I think I learned early on. I had to grow up really fast at a young age.
No, Mike, I know you have questions too. I don't want you to feel like you can't ask your questions.
No, listen, this is your show. I got questions. You got questions. It matters more what you got to say.
Hey,
What? Before you go, question, because Basic on fire. It's been a while. So I gotta do it just one time, Basic.
Oh Jesus, I'm already scared.
It ain't nothing crazy. It's just like I be wanting to say something and you already on it. She's how she looking at me like, nigga, do it and ask the dumb ass. You ain't asking shit. Sit your ass down and enjoy the show. This is me. Y'all know why I'm here. That's it. Nah, I'm fucking around. So I want to say this before Basic go. Are y'all okay? Are y'all good?
Yeah.
Y'all dialed in? Y'all I'm listen. I'm checking in with y'all. I'm making sure you're good, especially you, Tony, because you know I know. You know I know.
Oh yeah,
yes, you know I know.
I took my lines, man. I'm cool.
Hey,
you know,
wait, I'm about to say, Tony. I was going to ask you, did you hit something before you got on here?
Hey,
she's like, "Fuck that, y'all ain't getting me today."
I was basic. I got my grown-up juice.
Hey.
Right?
And CC, what the hell you got? Water? Oh my God, she's gonna be an emotional wreck. And grapes? What the fuck?
I got water
gonna be bubbling.
Listen, water is delicious.
Water and grapes. Yeah, we got how long you got left? You got another hour left.
Stay hydrated.
You got an hour left and eating grapes. You gonna blow that bathroom down. Right, I'm playing. I don't fuck with you. I'm sorry. All right. Anyway, Basic. You may continue. At this point, I'm gonna ask these men these questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, ladies. Oh gosh, I have so many things. First of all, can I just say thank you to all y'all for wanting to share? Like, I feel like being able to talk about things is so cathartic, just to be able to get it up and out, because it is sometimes in our nature, I know in mine, to keep it all in. And it sometimes takes effort for me to be able to say things, you know, and to talk about it and to get it out there. So I appreciate y'all so much. For those of us who are mothers, how did you tackle, or how are you currently tackling figuring out who you are outside of motherhood?
Oh, Jesus.
I like that question. I'm sorry. I gotta clip that shit. Hold on, YouTube. What you doing? My face was like, go ahead, ladies, go get them.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
How old is everyone's children? I guess that depends on.
Mine is 19.
Okay.
Mine is 32.
I think, I must say, I think I'm the youngest with the youngest, almost the youngest. I think CC has a child younger than mine. My boys are, will be 10, 8, and 7 this year.
Okay.
My son's almost 19, and I have a 4-year-old.
Oh, baby.
What the Lord?
Yeah, that shit crazy, ain't it?
Listen.
That shit crazy. She in two different mental states right now. That's why you really need this conversation.
Right.
She in two different.
Kick this off. My daughter and I are both. I've talked about this before, so I won't make it long. My daughter and I are both in a transitional period. She is 19. She's about to go off on her own and start her own life. I am a mom who forgot who she was outside of being my daughter's mom. And I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, this year, she's still here with me currently, but she'll probably be, I know she's going to be gone soon. She wants to go, and I'm totally okay with that. I want her to live her life. I'm excited for her for that. But I also have to figure out who I am and where my space is outside of just being her mother. And I really am still trying to figure, I don't know what that looks like for me. I don't know what my life looks like outside of being my daughter's mother, because that's been my whole life. Every decision that I've made, every choice, everything that I've done since she was here has been very much centered around what was best for her and her growing up and her rearing. And I don't know what that looks like to make decisions just for me, or to not have to consider her all the time, or what do I do? What are my hobbies? What do I like? I don't even know what that looks like. It's terrifying. I'm not even gonna lie. Trying to figure out what that is supposed to look like for me. Let me take it back. It's terrifying, but it's also exciting, because I feel like we are both in this sort of transitional kind of coming of age period which is crazy for me to say at 42. I'm trying to figure out what I like and who I am and all that stuff, but that's real life for me. Like, I realize that there's so many things that I don't really know about with myself and who I am outside of just being a parent to this kid who I've been like teaching and growing and molding for years, and that's been my main focus. What do I do when that's not there?
Okay.
Can I say I'm sorry. My oldest is 30 and my youngest is 23, so I have a whole bunch of adults.
Okay.
The thing I learned, the thing I had to force myself to do is realize what my grandmother told me right before she passed away. You advise them, you love them, you pray for them, and you learn how to walk away. There are some things that you are not going to be able to prevent them from doing or save them from, but all you can do is pray for them, right? But the opportunity to explore you is absolutely beautiful.
Right.
When I started writing, it was centered around grief. As I progressed in it, it was like, oh no, I love this. When I started gardening, it was like, okay, yeah, I like this too. When I started doing other different things that I knew I liked doing when I was younger, I was like, oh, wait, you have a list. You have a list of things that you kind of wanted to accomplish. Go revisit that list and say, do we still like this? Do we not like this? What foods do we like? Do we like this kind of clothing anymore? Like, I've kind of switched to having certain clothes in my closet. Well, I don't like this material on my skin anymore. I like this kind of body. Like, it sounds so elementary that you're kind of coming into this space again, but it really is like, I get to date me.
Right. I love that. I love how you put that.
I get to date me.
Yeah.
I get to say, without the interference of my children and even my husband, you're not invited in this space. I get to experience me for the first. I mean, when I say 16, I was somebody's mama since 16. There's never been a room to be anything else but somebody's mother or wife. So now I get to date me and decide, I want this.
Right.
This is good for me. So while it feels unnerving, it is your invitation to be everything you want to be.
Yeah. I'm kind of excited. I'm not gonna lie.
Like that. She gets to date herself.
Now, my approach to motherhood was completely different because, again, I didn't have my son until I was 25. But instead of completely readjusting my life to accommodate him, I had him fit into my life as it was. So, like I said, I was 25 when he was born, and I've always liked sports. Okay, well, first event I took him to was WWE meeting Lex Luthor. Lex Luger.
That sounds pretty cool.
You took him to see Lex Luger?
Oh yeah, my son. Yeah, I have a picture of my son and his godmother and me at a wrestling match, and I think he was probably about 8 months old, maybe I'm here. And so he fit. Because as far as because I kept doing the things I wanted to do, so he would fit into. I would have like sports. I worked at a community college in the athletics department, and I was also the mascot. So I took him to the games with me, and he'd be sitting in the stands while I'm out on the field. Plus there was lots of staff who knew my son, so he could go around on campus. He may end up in the music department's office, with them. I'm not a big traveler. I drive anywhere I go. I love to drive. So I'm like, well, let's get on the road. Put him in his car seat, and we get on the road and go. So he is. Now every decision I made with him in mind, but I didn't change the things I was always doing because I had him. I had him fit into what I was already doing. I loved baking, and so when I wanted to make the things that I can't say, or Cece's gonna make me do squats.
Go get this, Jimmy.
Oh no! You're not gonna give me.
It's just 10.
Yeah, right. So I taught him how to bake. So we would be making a crust for a certain thing that we both would like to eat, and he'd buy the ingredients and he'd mix it up with me, and we we'd make that. Now, my son is an excellent cook because I love to cook. I would make lasagna. I'd have him do this and do that. So he fit into the stuff. I love doing crafts. I would sit him down with his little paintbrushes and whatever while I'm over here making a blanket or something. So I fit him into my life that way. Even now, he's got a wide variety of things that he knows how to do because there were things that I knew how to do. And then he picked them up. But then, so he would play sports. My son ain't the best athlete in the world, but he did it because it was part of the team, because, we could talk about it. He plays soccer. I'm out there cheering. I'm the crazy mom ready to yank a kid by the neck for, tackling my son playing football. I didn't. I never did. But I incorporated what I like to do. And I'm not going to say it's stuff that I made him like to do, because if he didn't like to do it, it's fine. Now, every summer, I would send him to my mom's he'd be gone for, let's say, like, till school was out. From the time school was out is May until school started in August. So I had 2.5 months where it was just me, hanging out, doing whatever I want to do. Even many days where I just, stay in the bed all day because I didn't have to do anything. And so then by the time he got back, we were ready to go again for the next 10 months. So, yeah, I had him fit into my life. Even when I moved to Georgia and it was just me and him, I found things for us to do. Found things for us to do together. Again, sports were involved, or we would go to a park, and we both love animals, love dogs. So we got a dog. We went to dog training class together, things like that. And it's just always, and I'm going to tell you, I admire you women who say, you completely reconstructed your life for your kid. I constructed his life to my, not that I'm selfish or anything, but I think part of what it did is it let him know, okay, you are important. I love you. I love me. But you can fit yourself into any situation that you need to. And he can. My son can go somewhere and adapt anywhere. But wow, y'all are amazing. Because no kid, I'm not fitting into your. No, you gonna get into my life. I was here first, so that's what it's gonna be.
For me it goes. Go ahead. Yeah, for me it goes a bit deeper. I'm the oldest of 11 children. I am the first. Not only am I the first, of course, I'm the oldest daughter. I'm the first of my generation. And growing up, not having my birth mother be there for all of us, myself and my brother, who is a year younger than me, we kind of became mom and dad for our siblings. So I jumped from being in that space of care, of mom figure for my siblings younger than me, to jumping into motherhood with my children. I had my first son when I was 22, and I stopped working and I became a stay-at-home mom, and I was with their father, and like my life revolved around my kids and their dad, and trying to be the best, quote unquote wife. I've never been married, but quote unquote wife and mom to my boys. And when that relationship ended, it was then when I realized I had no clue who the hell Nat was. Like, I had no idea who I was as an individual person, because I've always felt like my entire life I was taking care of people, and I always had to be that figure, that somebody that everybody came to growing up. So when it wasn't lit, honestly, till this year, maybe I want to say maybe within the last 2 years, I started dating someone almost 5 years ago, and he started asking me those questions like, oh, what do you like to do, and what do you do for fun, and what do you do for you? And I'm like, I have no answers. And he was like, well, what are some things that interest you? And I'm like, I do not fucking know. Right? I don't know. I have no clue. So when I started hanging out with him more, and I started seeing him game and things like that, I'm like, wait, I actually remember why I used to like playing games and doing all of that. And I got my PC and started gaming more. And then I saw people streaming, and I'm like, okay, I can do that. And of course, me and Tony, after I met Tony, we came together and came with the podcast. And then doing that, I realized I really, really like doing this. And this year, especially 2024, I've explored more of things that I like for myself. And even doing so, I noticed that my kids realize that I enjoy doing this, and they ask me questions. Mom, how did you become a streamer? What do you like about streaming? You know, what games do you like to play more? And to see them see me explore my individuality makes them more curious to enjoy things that they love to do themselves and not have to feel like they need to fit into a box of any kids around them. Made me even more encouraged to really explore myself as a person and not just as a mom or as big sister or you know, aunt or anything like that.
Nice.
Oh, that's fucking dope. Has everybody have a chance?
Cece hasn't, and I'm excited to hear what Cece has to say because she's got 19 and a 4-year-old. So I really want to know.
That gap is wild.
That's a fact.
So part of what changed for me was all this stuff happening during COVID. So I had my son going into high school. I just had a baby, and everything shut down. And for the first time, like I said, I was in a relationship, so I was running the house. Like it was like everybody's looking at me, and I did not know what I was doing. But now I could say I'm more confident than I was just even 2 years ago. And part of that is just knowing I am going to make mistakes. I'm not perfect. My kids should not look at me like I'm perfect. And allowing myself to have that grace and giving myself that grace, reminding myself, you know, all those things. But yeah, like it was hard because going from in my 20s, one little boy having help. And then when I tell you I went through my whole phase, it was so I had a grand time. I'm really glad I had that. Because some people didn't get it, and now they trying to do it. And it's like, you too old, but you know, no, you're not.
Hey, yo, you can't tell somebody old. That's
I know,
crazy.
but it's one of those
Let them be
like,
hoes if they want to be hoes. Yeah. Everybody need to get slapped right now. All right, go ahead. Let's continue.
No,
all right,
but
it's y'all
that
show.
makes sense, you know, because at some point, like you also have to think in your 20s, what I was doing, I was being very reckless. I had a kid at home. I needed to make sure I was also making it home to them, you know. So that's where it's like, maybe should have been inside a little bit more. But that's one of the things now that I'm going through is rediscovering myself and not allowing myself to be completely immersed into. I have a 4-year-old. We just got out of potty training. We're thinking about school now. And then my other one's like, Mom, I want to do this. And it's like, okay, go and find out. Because I have to be able to let him do that. I have to let him struggle. And if he falls, okay, let's get back up. You know, even as an almost 19-year-old, he still doesn't know what he wants to do, but I have to step away because I can't tell him what to do when I haven't done what I've wanted to do. How can I preach that to him? Like, well, you saw Mom. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You know, the one thing that now he called me the other day, actually, he's living with my brother because he has a business, which I think is a really great thing. He did not, my brother was already the strong male role in his life. So I appreciated my brother continuing to take that role for him, even though he has his dad. We just never lived in the same state. And he calls me now and he's like, Mom, I'm thinking about getting another tattoo. I took him to go get his first one. And he's like, what's your favorite animal? I want to get your favorite animal. I want to get everyone's favorite animal. And I showed him, I actually got a tattoo of my favorite animal last year. And now I'm thinking about getting my next one. I said, that might be my thing. I don't know, but I'm not afraid.
Yeah. My daughter just got her first too.
Yeah.
I already
She's about to light it up.
That was cool. Please wait till you're 18. I will go and take you because he was itching. He was
2 weeks ago. She just went and got her first two. She did ask me. I went. She wanted me to go along with her friends. It was me and her 3 friends, and we all went and she went and got a tattoo. Actually, she got 2 on the same day. But I think it's also because I already have 3, but it did make me want to get more. I'm like, I might have to get some more tattoos because I've always wanted more. I just haven't really thought about it. Like I've been putting it off to the side.
Listen, Basic got this really big ass dragon going straight down her
Okay, I do not.
Right.
Wait, I have a question.
Like, let me see. Like, you didn't.
I have a question for Cece because like I said, I'm 32 and my youngest sibling will be, I want to say 12 in September. So I know what it's like to have that age gap as a sibling, but as a mom, like how difficult is that?
Actually, I had that with a sibling. I'm 13 years older than my youngest brother. So I was going to school and he...
Oh, y'all just believe in gaps.
Well, I mean, it's not, like I said, I'm the oldest of 11, so it ain't that much of a gap.
Dang, Mike, really?
That's a gap.
It's one of those things. My mom had me at 21, so she was young, and then she met their dad.
Right. So y'all like mama like daughter.
Hey, I mean, kind of, but yeah.
I love the fact that y'all having babies at a certain age, but go ahead.
There's a big difference because when I was a teenager, my brother was my baby. Like he was going everywhere with me. It was like taking him in the stroller, diaper bag. I knew how to do everything. With my son, he enjoyed being a big brother, but they're not close. It's like, can he do something yet? Like he's just waiting, like, when is he gonna crawl?
You gonna kick him up the block?
It's gonna take a minute. But I will tell you, like I told him, I said, don't be surprised when you start getting more into the dating that you're gonna be like, Mom, can I take him with me? Because he's cute, okay? And I remember my cousin doing that with my older one. He was like, hey, let me take him for the day. And I didn't question it until they came back and he's like, yep, he did the job. What do you mean? Well, pretending to be a single dad? For real?
I cannot.
But women were falling for it. It's like, because the cute kid, and it's like, look.
I guess that swag really do work.
There's a little bit
so
more attention,
Hey, that only works for men because when I had my younger siblings, swore up and down, I was a teen mom. And I'm like, she does not belong to me. She is my sister.
So I'm gonna because it's only one that doesn't have kids on this panel, and that's Tony. But no, I want to ask a question in particular.
How is it? Put me on the spot.
I mean, you want to answer it?
What is the question?
No. So what I was going to ask you was based off of everything that they're saying, you being an aunt to your nieces and nephew, and I imagine y'all got other influences and like other kids that are close to you too. How is it like when you experiencing what their mom have been through, but like the things that you go through with them yourself?
What do you mean, like?
Excuse me.
What do I experience as an aunt or something like that?
Yeah, what do you experience as an aunt, like kind of seeing where their mom deal with them?
Oh, with my sister and my sister. Well, I already knew I never wanted kids. That was in my head at a young age. You know what I'm saying? I was like 9 years old. My aunt Denise and my mom was like freaking Fred, and my aunt Denise set me on the washing machine, was like, kids will fuck your body up, blah, blah, blah. And then she flipped out her elephant titty and said it on the washing machine. And ever since then, I've been scarred. So I knew right then and there, because she was like, this is what happens. Kids will fuck your body up. And I said, lesson learned.
Right.
And so that was already ingrained in it. But not only that, like I was the family babysitter. Every kid in my family have been with me for extended periods of time, like literally have been by my hip, my left butt cheek. Like I've practically raised every kid in my family. I was their babysitter, charged $25 a day. Past that day, that's another $25. That's $50. Don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? So and seeing like what my sister go through and everything, I know where I'm at. I'm happy. I'm content. I don't need nothing else. Like these kids bring me joy. I found like I'm completed. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking for nothing else. like they love me. Them kids, I'm really their aunt. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm their aunt. You know, I'm your mama's sister. Like
I'm your mama's sister.
I'm your mama's sister. You know what I'm saying? When she go, your daddy's not getting you. You coming with me. Okay.
Oh shit!
I'm not.
You said them elephants in these.
Listen,
that shit hit the table hard too.
Y'all gotta understand.
Would have been scarring.
You have to understand the trauma that I've
They fucked you up. Got it.
You know, lesson learned. You don't need to tell me nothing else. I get it.
Right.
You put the titty away.
So there's a reason why I even asked her, because I already knew this answer was coming. I just had to get this. Like, I'm sorry. That's my own pleasure.
You know, my mom ain't helped the situation out. She was like, "Look at that titty. That shit ugly, ain't it? Look at it." And I'm just like, "Yo."
So
they double team
tag teaming you.
I'm like, "Let me go play with the other kids right now. I don't want to be here." Lesson learned. You don't need to tell me nothing else. I get it.
They didn't even take the biblical approach. They was just like, "Look, girl, it's smart."
You know, this is what it looks like. I said, "Okay, I get it. I understand." But no, like people always ask me, "Don't you want your own?" These are my own. These motherfuckers call me every damn day. They call me every damn day. They depend on me. All right. I like, they look to me when they're in trouble. I'm the first call they make. They don't call their damn daddies. They don't call their grandmamas. They don't. If they cannot get in touch with their mama, they call me, and that's all I need in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tony is what I call my brother. My brother doesn't have any children, and we call him Uncle Daddy. So Tony,
Auntie mommy.
Listen, me and my sister do not get along, but we raise these kids like co-parenting. You would think that I was her baby daddy. I swear to God. I swear to God. They
way better than their baby daddy.
Bitch, don't get me started on them niggas, okay?
Nothing.
Okay.
They should just name every person. Just get rid of their name. They mean nothing. It's nothing. Right? Like, you John Doe, motherfucker. Like, nothing. All right. So I got a question. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mike.
So I'm asking the other questions. Y'all gonna get this one. This is gonna be a nice little fun one. But most of y'all work from home.
I wish.
Yeah, I'm making that face. Anyway, so when you were at the job sites and stuff like that, how is it? How did y'all deal with working with men in particular, rather as managers, rather as co-workers? Like, let's tell the truth about this situation. Like, what was it for y'all mentally to go into work and have to deal with that shit?
Can I be honest? And I'm sure my experience now, I didn't give a shit. Okay. It never bothered me. It never bothered me being a manager over men. I think because of the way my mother raised us in general, when it came to work ethic, she made us feel like no matter what, because of race specifically, but also because of like it wasn't because of being women, but it was more so because of race. She was like, you're going to have to work sometimes harder anyway to be to put yourself ahead when it comes to the workforce and anything that you do. Sometimes we have to work harder just to show up and to be seen. And I think I approached everything in life like that. So I never thought about it in the context of, oh, this man is intimidating. I was already trying to work harder and pushing myself and trying to be the best in situations. And it didn't matter if it was man or woman or black or white. I was just trying to I was always in that mindset of I have to be, I have to keep going. I have to push. I have to be on top. I have to be my personal best in order to set myself apart. And so I think that's why I was never intimidated by men. I was just so busy trying to go ahead and set my own self apart in every situation that I never really paid attention to whether or not I was doing with a man or with a woman or whatever. So,
I'll throw my answer out there real quick because it's extremely simple. I've only ever had 2 professions, 3 different work sites, but I before I had children, I was a registered nurse and I did hospice, which of course we know is a predominantly woman field. So I never worked the hospital that I worked at. My entire department was women ran, so it was all women. And then now I am a preschool teacher and working in daycare facilities. It's also a predominantly woman ran situation. Even my boss, the owner of the 2 daycare sites that I work at, is a woman. And we've only had, since I've been working there for almost 5 years now, we've only ever had 4 men actually work there, and they had to adjust to working with all women. So I've never had that issue of needing to feel like I had to upstage the men in my field.
Mm-hmm. Now me, when my son was born, I was working actually in a facility that trained law enforcement, correctional officers, police officers. And one of the guys I worked with was a police officer and did my best April Fool's joke on him ever because we did not get along. Okay. But after I had my son, I started working in the athletic department. I worked for the dean, had all the football coaches and everything. And I want to tell you, one of the things I really loved about it, other than getting to see all the sports I wanted, was coaches are used to dealing with different personalities and nurturing athletes. You got to adapt. This athlete may be emotional. This athlete may try to be hard. This athlete, different emotions. So with me, there was really no, number one, they weren't threatened by me, even though I did want to be a football coach at one point. They weren't threatened by me, but they were really supportive, especially when I was going through child support court with my son's dad. I mean, when I tell you I had coaches, well, do you need me to go with you? Because, if he tries to get out of hand, I'm like, good, I got this. I got this. But there was never any competition. But it also gave my son, who was 2 at the time, other male role models other than the ones that he was related to. He'd go out to football practice with him on days when I had to bring him to work, or if his daycare was closed or I had to pick him up early or whatever. But they never, I never felt I needed to, compete with them. They never felt that I was trying to compete with them, and it was a supportive environment. And I've always worked in places where there were men there, where I never felt the need to compete because, number one, again, they never saw me as a threat, and I never saw them as a hurdle to get through or to get past. But yeah, I've never felt the need to have to compete with men. I mean, depending on what we're doing, can men even really compete with us anyway? I'm just kidding.
Okay, good job, Siva. RK, you went.
Because
look, find it.
Mm-hmm. Right. I would get really tunnel vision around my male coworkers, like they existed, but they didn't exist. And I had to keep them in that space if they didn't exist, because sometimes they would assume that my kindness was an invitation for something more. And then I would have to get aggressive. So the last position that I held that was actually in semi-corporate nonprofits, there was a guy that he was really, I want to say, infatuated by me. Like, he was like, you do all these other different things. And I was just like, it's a job. I always treat it like a job. It wasn't anything more than that. So one day he comes in the office and he's sitting next to me and he was like, and I was still learning the position. Granted, I'm sitting up here learning the position out of a folder, but whatever. And so then he goes and he puts his hands on my shoulder and I was like, you do not know me like that, but I promise you I will deck you. And so I was like, this can't be the reality that I'm not safe. And I hate to be like around my brothers, because it was, both of the Black men that I work with were, Black men. But I can't be in a position where I'm safe with my own people. Like, I'm not. How did you assume that in this position, in this space, that this warranted this? So, you didn't mean nothing like that. Nah, bro. understand this is what my job is. Understand the person that you're getting ready to meet is not Miss Stapleton.
Right.
You are going to meet somebody else that will forget that you are a coworker and put you down. Don't touch me. So my interaction with coworkers and males, I always have to be on my guard, and I hated that. I'm like, I'm just coming in here to do a job. Let me do my job and go home. You know. But I did. I would always have to show up and be like, okay, how much aggression do I got to show today for people to realize, don't mess with me. Just let me do my job, get my paycheck every 2 weeks, and go home. I'm here to serve my community, give them the resources that they need. I am not thinking about y'all. So it never was positive. So when I started to separate myself, well, my daughter had surgery. So when my daughter happened to have surgery, it was like, oh, okay. Like I could actually breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow. So as far as the mental health side of that for you, like, did you dread going in? Like
every day.
Damn.
So when it came to so my daughter had like a bone spurt growing on the back of her foot because she was in show choir. So it was like, okay, we're gonna do this surgery, and I'm like, okay. So when I went in and we knew the date that the surgery was gonna happen, which was like 2 weeks out, I went in, I was like, here's the phone, here's this, here you go, goodbye. Packed my stuff and I was gone. I didn't say goodbye to anybody. There wasn't a need to. My exit was quick. I didn't need to be around there for 2 whole weeks to then feel like I'm torturing myself for a paycheck. I didn't want to have to walk into a place that I was now walking on eggshells because you're the new person coming in. You know, who are they going to believe? The new person or the person that's been here for some time, has a relationship with everybody else, and he ain't never been that way with me. So I was just like, just go ahead and make that quiet exit. You good. They're going to be okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anybody else who wanted to answer?
Tony and CC.
Well, I firmly believe in cursing people out at work. You know what I'm saying? So I never felt like I had to compete. First of all, I'm a bad employee. All right. I don't come in with the work ethic that, you know, most people should. I really don't want to be there half the fucking time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not compete with no fucking body for no fucking position. If you want to talk to the manager, you can talk to the manager. I'll go get them. You know what I'm saying? There was a point in time where like I was treated like I was in a competition by one of my supervisors. His name was Frank, a big old white man with big ugly lips, and you know how like you like as Black women, you know the stereotypes that we have on ourselves. You know that people put on ourselves, and I moved to his department, which was tire and lube. You know what I'm saying? So there was the auto department, and I already had enough stress from the male customers coming in, telling me what the fuck, you know, I should be doing, or what the fuck, you know, it's supposed to be done. Nigga, I work here. I know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I already had it hard arguing with them niggas, and it really wasn't no arguments because, yeah, exactly. Respect me, I respect you. It really wasn't no arguments because,
yeah,
I'll shut down on you, register and all. I'll leave you. I don't care if it could be a line out the door. Piss me off, I'll leave you in this line and go right to break. And the supervisor didn't make that any easier for me. Like he would, like for one example, he had left a pile of papers, like how the office was. His office was directly behind me. Like imagine this as the office door, and this is my register directly looking at you. It's not that far, not even a foot long. Okay, and in the morning time, there would be a stack of papers on the desk right here in front of me. But I didn't know what the fuck those papers were. Nobody ever told me. And one day he came out, you're supposed to be putting these papers on my desk, da da da. And I'm just like, well, why'd you just tell me to put it on paper? What you said before? You doing it on purpose? I said, bitch, I ain't worried about no fucking paper. Because
you called him a bitch.
You know I called him a bitch. I don't give a fuck about his.
You know she did.
You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about no fucking papers like this. You act like it's a hard job to do to pick them up, open the door, and put it on your damn desk. I don't know about that. You ain't telling me about no damn papers. Calm that shit down. And when I tell you it got so excessive, like the shit that he was implying, we had to get it got to the point that we required another manager to intervene. And thank God for me, it was another Black woman. Hey. and when she sat down and she heard both of our sides, she said exactly what they said in the comments. Respect her and she will respect you. Right. Thank you, sister. Okay, get that shit together, Frank. Don't have me curse you out in front of these customers again. Right. Get it together. They ended up firing me because I started. Yeah, they ended up firing me because I started showing my ass because he was really pissing me off. And around that time, all the customers was liking me. Everybody wanted to see me. Every time somebody came in, you want to talk to Tony. People were tipping me heavy. And they weren't supposed to. They was giving me heavy tips, like $60 damn, helping just do it. And I'm not helping them with their cars. I'm just pulling tires and shit, you know. And so when I saw that he was still being the asshole that he was, I said, I got something for you, bitch. You know, inventory came around. Yeah. Everybody's like, yeah, you know, can you help us with inventory, Tony? Can you handle this? I said, I'll get that on inventory. I'll do that on inventory. I'll handle all of that. Don't worry about that. I got it. Everybody like, cool. On inventory, I called the fuck out. Called right out on them bitches. They come in, figure it out, ho. And they failed. And I walked in and they fired me. As long as you give me my unemployment papers, we cool.
Right.
She told us about her last day. That's
right. Listen.
She told us about her last day.
Had me fucked up.
I called the fuck out and they fired me. Give me my papers, bitch.
Give me my papers, bitch.
I should be in a t-shirt. Give me my papers, bitch.
And I know the customers were still asking about me after I left. So
that'd be the worst when you leave a job and they asking for you, and then they gotta look all stupid like, well,
and I go to that same Walmart to shop and go right to that department to say hi to everybody.
Meanwhile, Frank. Anyway, CC.
Yeah, I just like Butterfly. I work with mostly women. I was in the library for about 13 years before I changed to another library system, and it was predominantly women. So men were never really concerned. I never practiced the whole work husband bullshit. Didn't believe that was I saw that happen, and that was crazy, the stuff going down. But other than that, I think it's more if we're talking like being around other women. Yes, that was very difficult. I found myself crying in the bathroom.
Oh Jesus!
More than a man or even men customers. Like it was women mostly that more of my
that is a fact.
So that side is hard, not the men.
Yeah, that's a fact. Where I am now, I am not only one of the youngest, but I am one of the last to get hired, and I've moved up as far as like managerial positions faster than people that I work with, and that was the worst because of course every woman under me is like, well, I've been here longer. How did she do this and do that? Right. It's just the worst bickering in the world. So that I understand.
Yeah.
All right. Is that everybody?
Yes.
Hey. Go ahead, Basic. Go get him, Tiger.
Okay, so I just maybe rolling up on our last question because I don't know if Mike, if you want to go over, if we want to, I guess we can. If not, but
you want me to do what?
Oh, I was just asking. I said I know we're winding up on time, so this may be
we got about 12 minutes.
But we can go over if we need to.
They need to go.
We don't have a set time, y'all. We can just set a time ourselves.
Pretty much.
I was wondering about this. This is actually something that kind of happened to me this morning, or something that this morning kind of triggered this question to me, and I was wondering how this applies to all of you. Because I feel like we all probably we may have some similar upbringing, but we may also have different upbringings. And I feel like a lot of times as young girls growing up, we're taught to be like amicable and appeasing and nice to people. And like, we're always taught to be sweet and kind and nice. And that kind of carries on through life. And we end up doing that. And like, always trying to appease people, right? But through my mental health journey and learning about like what really is best for me in my life and my own mental personal health, I have had to let go of people, whether they be friends or family. And it can be tough when you are in the back of your mind, you're always taught to be kind and nice and to be there for people and to treat them nicely. It has been somewhat of a tough transition. I am getting a lot better at it. I have people who I have had to take a step back from because I was so busy trying to cater to them that I felt like they were really kind of taking advantage of my time, my mental space. They were never really considerate of where I was and if I could handle the kind of things they were unloading on me at the time, or if it was okay to like to dump all those things on me, or maybe even just crossing boundaries because I had allowed it for too long. And I've had to actively say, I'm stepping away from this. And we can't talk, and I have to remove you from my life. And I don't even, for some people in particular, like I haven't given an explanation because I just don't feel like I should have to, because it's for me. Mm-hmm. And it's really for the best for me. I know that I need it. I don't like the way I feel when I'm in that predicament. And so I've just had to take a step away because often I feel like, honestly, in one particular situation, I feel like I've explained myself 1,000 times. I've said things that don't make me feel comfortable. I've said, I don't like this. I don't like when this happens. I've said those words before. And so the fact that you have not taken heed to any of that and don't care and don't choose to change any of those things, okay, well, I'm just going to take an active step and step back. But I was wondering, I talk with my hands, it's the worst. But I was wondering, like, do you guys have y'all had those same struggles, or is it easy for y'all to just like say, I'm done and I'm walking away?
Okay. I'm sorry, go ahead. Okay.
I'd say for me, like, I really struggle with that. I'm kind of like you. I didn't have any boundaries. So once I started creating them, it was difficult. But now I find myself on the extreme side of it, where
right.
It's stopped, you're done. Like it is. It's like I'm speaking so much of my truth. I'm more so unapologetic because, like you said, like, dang, did I need to say it like that? Did I need to be so harsh? Like, did they really deserve? But at the same time, if we realize, like, for me, like, thinking, well, they didn't give a damn. That's why we here. That's why we're at this point, because they never stopped themselves and said, what am I doing to Cece? Am I really showing up genuine and for her good and giving her space? Right. So be like, well, I've also gently tried to tell you no. I've gently tried to tell you stop. So now it's stop, no, bye, not going, delete, right. And being more so unapologetic about it. Because honestly, you can still say, and I don't know if you agree or not, that you've given chances.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You honestly have. So at this point, there's no reason, because you're just going to stay stuck in a little bit of that, what you were before. And I can tell you, the way I grew up, it was very like, be quiet.
Yes.
So now I'm like screaming, and I'm tired of screaming. So I'm working on that. Like, it's like, I don't want to scream. I want to be able to still talk and be gentle and be like, the answer is no. And I will say I have taken on, especially one person I have such strong boundaries with is my dad. And when I tell you I talk crazy to him, and now he thinks it's funny, but he listens. I like that, because being sarcastic is another thing that just helps me release, because if I can still kind of laugh a little bit, I think that's better than me being angry about me having to say no, having to draw that line. Yeah. So that's one thing that's kind of helped me, but it's still a struggle to find that balance because, like I said, it's really extreme most days. Every now and then I'm like, yeah, I did that one right. All right. Good job. But other times I'm like, ooh, but oh well. Because I already told them no last week or 2 years ago, whenever it came up. But it's like they're not seeing me and looking at me and hearing me. And maybe they got some growing to do. But everybody can't come with me. I've settled on that.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Everybody can't come.
This is hilarious. So for me, like I've mentioned throughout the podcast, I'm adopted. So I've had the chance to grow with my biological family as well as my adopted family. Just FYI, Quasi Best in the comments is my mom. So,
oh wow! Hi, Mom. You got to hear what she was talking about. No, I'm playing.
So for me, growing with my biological family and being, like I said, the first, not only the oldest of all my siblings, but the first of my generation, I was taught very early on to oh, well, that's your family and you got to accept them for them. And, you know, you can't do this and you can't do that. And you're just going to be family regardless. And And no matter what they've done to you, they're family. And then being with my adoptive mom, Quasi, being with her, like she said, her favorite line is no and fuck them. Like that was her thing. So living my teen years with her and you know, developing with her from teen until adult years, I've learned the whole fuck them. If they not doing for me, then, you know, let it go and just part ways. So I've learned that as I grew with her, like everyone, blood or not, does not wish the best for you. And if they do not want the best for you, or they don't see you know, the progress that you're doing and the positive that you're making as an adult, or even as a person, to just let them go. So I've developed that from her and her mindset, which man, listen, my cutoff game now, 32 years old, is so strong. Like the chances thing has ended back in like when I was like 23. Like I don't give chances anymore. You got one time with me, and if I do not feel like you're in my corner or you don't want what's best for me, that I want for myself, then I just have to let you go. You're toxic for me. And even just not wanting certain people around my children, where I don't want my children to develop these habits or learn and you know, just to see this kind of thing. Or I mean, even dating now, if I don't feel like you can be a positive mindset for my children, or I don't feel like you can show my boys how it is to treat a woman positively, then you don't need to be around me or them. So my cutoff game now is so strong. I snip real quick.
Yeah.
So before we go to the next point, next person, I do want to give y'all a shout out for something. It's something that I'm very big on. There's a lot of people that, you know, understand it, but don't understand it. Not one time did I hear any of y'all say females. Not one time. I heard all women, and that's how it should be. A lot of things can be females, but everybody cannot be women. Just only women. Humans are women. So I appreciate y'all for keeping that just like that, because women will go, "Oh yeah, females." I'm like, yo, you can't. It's just like, come on.
Okay, so I'll say, you know, as females, I'm just kidding. As you know, like basically we're saying, as a girl, I was always told, and this is my mom, you know, be quiet, you know, don't talk. Now, I talk a lot. I can talk for hours and hours and hours and still talk for hours and hours and hours. But my mom was always saying, you know,
oh yeah. No, I'm playing. Go ahead. I love you, Diva.
Love you too, Mike. Make me come over there, but don't make me hop over the basics box to get to you.
Okay.
But I was always told, you know, be quiet. You know, you don't have to talk a whole lot. You don't have to, you know, basically, you're a little girl. You need to be seen and not heard, and don't really need to be seen that much. And I was just always felt, I was like, but I got so much to say, I want to talk about this, like I said, I grew up loving sports, and my mom took me to most of my sporting events when I was just a child. My dad liked tennis, yeah, cute, but my mom liked football, wrestling, so she took me to those. But she was always, don't want to say so much, when you get around boys, don't talk a lot. And the one thing she told me, and I will never forget it, and it just to this day, boys don't like girls that are smarter than them. So, dumb it down a little bit. And I'm like,
yes.
That's
and
wild.
I always felt, and then, no, I'm not going to make I'm getting straight A's. I can't help it. He got a C. That ain't me. That ain't my fault. And so I was always taught that. She would always say that and say that. And once I got to the point to where I decided I want to talk sports, that little girl was be in the back of my head. Ooh, but Mom said you shouldn't talk to her. Fuck that girl. We gonna talk. We gonna talk. And so now I've found people don't do that as much with little girls as they used to, but you'll still see it. And I mentioned this in my morning meetup group a few months ago. It's like, I'm talking sports and doing a podcast and doing shows, and we'll talk interviews wherever I can for those little girls who are always being told, don't say anything, be quiet, or, don't talk so much. Because I was that kid, talks too much in class. Yes, and I'm not done, teacher. Hold up. No. Let me answer that question. No. You don't know the answer. Let me answer that question. I was always that kid told not to talk. So now, I hate to hear people tell kids, when kids want to express themselves, no, be quiet. No, don't say that. That's not polite to say that. Or no. Speak your mind, because if you don't, then you're not being heard, and kids will feel like they're being ignored. I have 2 Hart grandkids, and my Hart granddaughter's birthday is 2 days before mine. And when I tell you that little girl, she's a mini me. Love it. She talks and talks and talks. But the one thing that I've always tried to instill in her, and in any little girl I come into contact with, don't let anyone tell you that you don't have a voice, that you don't have an opinion, because your opinion is valid. Just because they don't like it, that's not up to you. That's not your problem. And that's what I always say. Your opinion of me is none of my business. I don't care what you think about me. I'm going to be me regardless. And so even today, my mom will say, well, don't be all over the book face telling people your business. Book face. She ain't on there either, so I'm good with that too. And I'm like, so, well, Mom, well, I heard somebody said that you were on the social media, and they said this. Well, tell your friends to mind their own business. And yes, I was. You want to see the pictures I posted? Yeah, I don't think you did. But I hate hearing people say they don't have a voice. So I'm gonna say you got a voice, and if you can't say it, tell me. I'll say it for you. I have no problem speaking up for anybody now. But yeah, I can't. I hate hearing people be stifled, and I probably got completely off the topic, but that was just in the back of my head. So yeah, love you. Bye.
Good one. Oh, and she kept it in good time. Damn, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. All right. Tony.
Like everybody else, growing up, you're always told as a young girl to like be nice and all that stuff. I never learned that lesson. I've always been like, aggressive when it comes to me feeling comfortable about myself. Because Mike, I don't like, if you know me personally, I don't like being hugged. I don't like being touched. I learned, this is where I learned boundaries, because everybody else loves hugging. When you don't like hugging, you notice that everybody else loves hugging. And I learned that it don't matter how uncomfortable I am, they're going to hug me anyway. So I had to learn to be like, don't fucking touch me early.
Oh, no, Keith.
Like Cece said, like nobody cares about making you uncomfortable. And even as an adult, like I've always reminded myself, like, I wasn't raised to be like somebody somebody walking mat, somebody doormat. You know what I'm saying? That was nowhere in the lessons that my mother and my father ever taught me. So it just gets more aggressive the older I get. The bullshit, the less and less bullshit that I take. I've never been too shy about cutting people off. I've never been too shy about cursing somebody the fuck out. I've never been too shy about telling somebody you're making me uncomfortable and causing a scene. I'll be a fucking film producer. Okay. If you ain't hear me the first damn time, I'll give you a scene. You know what I'm saying? So even though like everybody said, like it is true that you do learn that lesson, it never stuck with me. I can never say quiet when it comes to my comfortability. Never.
Facts. Okay. Quick and to the point. Okay. Okay.
I was the olive branch queen. Olive branch queen. I would find the beauty in you even when you couldn't find it. I would be like, no, because God said. And would love you to the point of my own exhaustion, right? Like I'm like, oh no, she's my best friend. Now I had to put these in two categories between the siblings and the homegirl. She's my best friend, and God kept showing me, "Are you sure?" Mm-hmm. Then my mama was like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we good people."
Mamas always see it before anybody else,
baby.
Like, and I was like, "But mom, like she," and when it was an incident. I needed this job. I was working this job. This was a good job. This is back in 1999, and I was working telemarketing. I got 2 kids. I'm bringing home like $1,200 every 2 weeks, so I'm making good money, right? And I get suspended because of transportation. Now I didn't get my license until I was 23, so I'm on Uncle Matt. Okay, that's our bus system here. So I was on the bus, and they were like, "Okay, well the supervisor really liked me." He was like, we're going to suspend you for like 2 weeks. We're going to come back and then we just start over like no biggie. I'm like, okay, fine. He didn't say suspend. He was just like, we're going to let you go. So I'm telling this best friend, like, this is my girl. And it's time for me to go back to this job and they don't hire me back. And when I talked to her, she said, oh, really? And so then he told me why. He was like, well, yeah, word got out that they said that you was coming back. And I was like, really? There's only one person I told.
Damn.
And when I confronted her about it, she was like, no, I didn't say nothing. Right now, we maintained this situationship for years on and off. Like I'd be like, I'm done. I'm not even messing with you no more. And somehow she would find her way back into my life. So I got to a point where the olive branch that I had was now a nub. Right? Couldn't find anything good or positive about this particular person who's supposed to be my friend. And in this one conversation, it is no holds barred. This is throw it all on the table. I said, I got a question for you. Have you ever tried to manipulate me to get anything out of me? And she said, yeah, because you can be easily manipulated.
Oh. Where my duct tape?
I asked you. I'm serious. She's like, yeah. She said, because you can be easily manipulated. She said, I ask you to do something and you will do it. You won't even ask me any questions. I said, oh.
She snitched on her stuff.
That part.
Dumbass.
I said, oh, really? I said, interesting. I said, do you know what my middle name means? And she goes, no. So my middle name is Mandisa, which means sweet. I said, my downfall is that I'm really sweet and I'm really kind and I'm really loving. And I will go to bat for you and do whatever I can because you are my friend, right? My friend, you my girl, I got you. Because I know what it's like when people don't show up for you. So if I showed up for you, I showed up counting the cost before I showed up. But I didn't have to tell you that I counted the cost before I showed up. I had already did the assessment. So when I showed up, I came out of love. I didn't come because at some particular point in time I was going to complain about it. I just showed up. But what you're telling me is that through all the years that I've known you, you have always played in the background, trying to see how much more I can get out of her. I said, and you know what? You sowed that seed in your life. And thank you so much for letting me know. You never loved me the way that I loved you. So now mind you, we going to church together. So then when I stopped, it's like, well, do you think we should try to work on this friendship? What? I got you. No, I'm
right.
That's wild.
The spirit is telling me that is not what's good for me this season of my life. I wish you nothing but the best and hope you have an amazing life. And I still wish that for her. I hope that you have an amazing life because you taught me that in my early 20s and in the early 30s, you can love somebody so much that you don't see what your mama was trying to tell you from John.
Yeah.
And for my siblings, it was the same way, always showing up for my brother. It didn't care what that boy got into. My mom lives in another state. Mila, can you go down and check on your brother? Because this, that, and the other, I got you. And the last incident where he gets stabbed, it then comes, well, you set me up. I'm sorry, who? Boy, I just had a grandchild. I'm working on my master's degree. Ain't nobody thinking about your dusty butt. And then it was like, Mila, he has never liked you. Stop making space for people that don't like you. It's not even love, because I can love you and not like you and want the best for you, but you don't even like me. And you would watch me go down this path of how much more can I suck out of this person until they die. I was like, oh. So my mama said, I love you, and I know that that's your child. But let me go ahead and tell you this now. Don't ever talk to me about him again. Let me know if he died. Outside of that, we're done.
That part. And my mother said it. She definitely told us all the time, everybody is not your friend. I used to come home from school telling her, yeah, my friend said, and she'd be like, that is not your friend. What did your friend do for you? That you calling them your friend. That everybody is not your friend. You have acquaintances.
And that's a lesson I learned.
I get later in life and somebody's like, did you qualify this person to be in this space? And I was like, what you mean qualify? You better interview people. And then, and then when you interview them, you better sit and you better wait and you better discern that spirit. What are they coming with? Is it the fruit of love and patience and kindness? Are they really genuinely showing up? Watch how they are with other people. Because if the fruit is there, it's going to be in how they are with other people, not just you.
Honestly, that's the value of like, man, you're putting all these people above yourself, before yourself. How much do you actually love yourself? You're showing them all kind of love, and they're not giving it back. And
yeah, that's a lesson I had to learn.
I had no more olive branches. I had no more olive trees.
Right. After my dad passed, I learned how my half brother and my half sister, how they felt about me. And when I tell you, I'm like, my cutoff game is strong. I will see you burning on fire, and I can be drinking a bottle of water and get down to the last drop and not even let you have that and show it to you. You're on fire, you can't have this. Because it got to the point where I would go, I'm trying to make you comfortable. I'm trying to help you grieve, make sure you feel good. Meanwhile, you're trying to decide which knife you're going to put in my back and how long the sword is going to be that you're going to put through my heart. And so now I don't speak to them. I don't talk to them. I don't hear from them when other relatives tell me about. I don't want to hear what they're doing. I don't care what they're doing. I'm sorry your daughter passed, and I feel that bad for you. I don't have to talk to you anymore. Don't remember my birthday. Don't tell me happy birthday, because I'm not, as far as I'm concerned, you don't exist at this point. What's in the will, you will get that when the time comes. But other than that, don't talk to me, because you have to cut people off when they get to the point to where they're taking more from you than they're giving, or they're taking more from you than you actually have to give, and they don't care, and they don't care, and they don't care. So now, you know what? I have an aunt who I used to talk to every day, and now she's calling me. Well, your sister said, don't tell me nothing she said. And so now I can't talk to you anymore either. So yeah,
Damn.
I'm good. Life is way more positive now, and I'm happy.
Some of my realest friends is people that I've never even met in person, Tony included. Like some of the people that like to this that ride for me wholeheartedly are some of the people that I've never even seen physically in person, and I consider one of my truest day one friends. Like now, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey,
That shit is cute, yo.
That's cute.
I don't find friends like that. They don't want to be there for each other.
I can't.
That's true.
Dope as fuck.
It's true. You can make better friends than people that you've never met in person. Like Cece, I'll call Cece with an issue before I'll call most of the people in my family. If I have a problem with my TikTok friends, and I say this every week on Big Up Your Biz, every Wednesday, 7:27 p.m. is that the people I've met online will support me more than friends and family members I've known all my life for the past 20 something years.
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
yep.
So yeah,
Tony,
so around for me,
that is a very true fact.
That is, I mean, I'm telling you, everything that I've been going through with my bio mom and everything, I swear to God, it's not a day that passes by that Tony be like, hey, any updates? What's going on? How are you today? I'm checking in on your mental. You feel me? And it's people that I've known for years, like in person, that doesn't do that.
I definitely feel like, I believe treating people how you want to be treated and everything. I lost my mama, so I know how they feel. Like that scary feeling. She been sick many times before she died. She been in a coma. A lot of shit happened to her before that fatal day. And I understand whether you 34, 40, 70, or 16, like it's your mama.
Right.
That's your mama. I know how that feel, and I definitely want to always be a good friend to people because I want that shit back. Like I said, I'm not too fond of bullshit. So I'm not saying I need tit for tat, but if I'm seeing you playing around, I'm not gonna. Yeah,
right. Absolutely.
As you should. I know we way over the time. God damn. I ain't never seen that shit before. I just looked up like, oh shit. So I will say this. What y'all saying about the friends and stuff like that, supporting, that is a big thing. Because what I do right now, maybe Marcus and Chaz might be the only consistent people in my life that actually watches this podcast, and I know a shit ton of people, and that's wild. But I don't mind it because I know when you're going to show up. When you start seeing me more in other places and other spaces, it's like, oh shit, Mike, I seen you. Oh yeah, you did. Like I'm going to love you the way we were before this, but I won't love you with this. Like, cause you gotta move how you've been moving. That's how I have to treat people. You have to move. I have to move the way we moved before this because you didn't care about this, and that's okay. Right. I don't mind it. I don't force nobody. You have your own choices. I mean, I'm not a tick for tack person. I support people, but you don't have to support me, and that's okay. Because you got to keep energy the same way. You moved without it. You got to continue to move without it. And I'm glad that y'all saying that, especially you, Tony, because we know some things. I know the people you've worked with in the past. I know stuff that you're doing now, and you know who's with you. Yeah. You know who's with you.
Stories.
Yeah, you know who's with you. And I'm not saying anything negative about that because that's their situation. What I'm saying is that for her, she knows what it is. Because I don't speak, a certain way about people. I'm not an indirect talker. I will talk to you directly if I have to. So I love that y'all say that. Like Diva says, she says it all the time. Her friends, the TikTok people support her. And I'm going to just be honest with y'all. This is my observation because y'all obviously know this is how I move. I seen these ladies change. These two in particular. Me and RK, we good. Just the conversations we had and what's the name? There's nothing. Even with Basic, you can tell the comfortability and the confidence that started coming in as time went on. the comfortability, the knowing that they got their crew. Like they're what do y'all call y'all? The Golden Girls, old ass motherfucker. They got their groups. No, I'm playing. No, I say that about her because they got the old ass group. You know, I'm like, why would y'all call yourself Golden Girls? I'm talking about the name. It's just the name. The name is old. Anyway, I'm sorry, ladies. I'm just having fun.
There's something for everybody in the GG. Okay.
Listen, I'm just picking around y'all, but they have a core group that excites them, that gets them happy, and that they getting up now. Diva's up every day. I see a live pop in at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning while I'm at work, fixing shit, putting stuff together, and I'm like, damn, I guess I got to look at this. And not only, and I'll be thinking about it sometimes, like, should I go in there? Because she's going to invite me to come in immediately. I'm not even like, I can't even be on camera, but she's going to invite my ass anyway. She don't care.
Yep. Okay.
So, no, just like that confidence. She walks every day. Not, you don't mind if I tell you business about the, okay. She lost weight, big time weight, because she's walking now. And I guarantee that health is kicking in. Cece's down on her journey and getting herself together. Because at any time, like, I know a lot of us men have to take care of ourselves a certain way because of hearts. We have people in our group that has passed away recently, as in last month. Like, people is passing away. So I have to notate that now and really do something for myself. Because at any time, that silent killer can show up. And it happens to women now, too. You just don't know about it. So it's like taking care of yourself is a big thing, is a real big thing. So that's why I sit back and say I appreciate y'all, and I love the happiness that y'all exude, and that y'all was able to come on here and not cry, because I was expecting that one right there next to me. I thought them kids were going. I was looking like my eyes was pitching like, let me see, because when she started talking about Little Mama, that can break her easy.
I tried to keep all my answers to a minimum, so I wasn't. It's not for me.
What happened is she just stared at the camera like this, like, don't blink, don't do nothing, just stare, so your brain won't go other places. Like, but no, like, this is the dopest part about it. I'm giving y'all flowers. That's basically what this is. Like, all the ladies is getting their flowers for y'all to be able to come out and be this brave. You'll actually sit up here and do this. RK coming on here for me, like, showing up, knowing like, she's an author. She looks like one of my friends. Like she looks like, and you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, her twin. That's her twin. I'm sorry, it's your twin.
Is she on wait a minute, you see it?
So, like I said, I'm just leave it as this. I'm proud of y'all. Keep going, keep doing y'all thing. We can do this anytime you're ready. It only anytime y'all want to talk about some mental health, mental health awareness. Whenever y'all want to talk about this, y'all got the space. Y'all know where y'all can come to. So, and I hope that y'all have fun. Did y'all have fun with it?
I did.
Of course.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed it.
And y'all stayed the whole time interested, and even let Diva be as long-winded as she can.
Wow.
I gotta mess with them basic. Do you know? You don't know what I be going through. Oh, god damn, you gotta put the duct tape away.
Oh no, I've witnessed. Yeah, no, I've witnessed. I've popped in a couple of TikTok lives with you guys. I've seen.
They be getting me out of here. The torture that I be going through with them ladies, it's fun. I love it, but I go through torture with them sometimes.
It's all love. I see it.
It's always love.
Right. That's how we show love. Torture.
At least we ain't got Freaky Six in here.
That's how we show love. Is torture.
No,
yeah, Freaky Six is at work. She's doing stuff. So I just listen.
Can you not call her Freaky Six?
Diva. Oh, all right. Y'all gonna back down now? Okay. Got y'all.
I have never called her that. I call her Six. I don't know where you getting that from, Mike. You're gonna let her hear this. You're gonna be in trouble.
And she's gonna agree to it. That's the part.
Yeah, I had to remember my mama in the comments. So I'm gonna keep my comment for myself.
Oh, your mom said I gotta put you on.
Your
mom ain't playing no games. She ain't playing no games. Shouts out to everybody in the comments. They on TikTok they call them comic cousins. I like that. So are they our comic cousin? Hey, y'all comic cousins. I love it.
Mother
I ain't never
is
tried to be in the
hilarious.
comments. I don't want to be your cousin.
Oh, we family.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like you got a
pretty
choice.
much. But all right, one more time before everybody get out of here. I'm gonna try to do it. I'm not doing divas. Period. I'm not doing divas. But the Butterfly Assassin, Tony Baloney, they have a podcast. They talk anime. They play games together, which that shit be funny as a motherfucker. They were playing this chain together, and they trying to synchronize this shit. And you're chained to your friend. So I gotta jump and do shit, count with each other, and then they just fall all the way off a fucking building, like together.
That was difficult.
It was fun. It was fun though. But if you ever, if you're a gamer or anime junkie like we are, or if you just want to learn about games and anime, or I overall just have fun hanging out with the two of us, definitely pop into Butterfly and Baloney. I put the link in the comments to all of our socials as well as our YouTube. We go live every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I know what time y'all go live now, so
Mike, I ain't messing with you, Mike.
It's an introduction to like anime and games. So if y'all are interested in it, it's a good thing to check out. We break everything down easy for people who are new.
Imagine trying to learn about like an anime, but you get it in Tony's language.
Oh
Your ass is gonna have fun watching that shit.
It is so funny.
The dumb motherfucker, you be like, yo. It's a hell of a way to learn some anime.
What I'm saying to y'all, and I'd be like, wait.
And because it's that her random the bitch word that come out of her mouth be having me rolling, because she'll be just normally talking and she'd be like, yeah, so they were doing this, and this dumb bitch, you be like, yo, what the fuck?
Listen, I don't code switch. It's too much.
Her favorite thing is, listen, y'all know I'm ghetto. That's her thing.
Y'all give a shot, get.
In North Philly. Anyway, RK, you can tell them about your stuff too.
You can find me on all social media. I sound so because I'm not. It's not one of them things I really talk. It's weird. I'm an author. I have a series, and I don't really talk about it that much because it's one of those introvert. It's one of that extroverted things that an introvert like me would like. I don't want to do this. Yes, you can find me on TikTok. I'm usually on TikTok Saturday, every day at 7:00 Central Standard Time. I always do a writing sprint for authors, creatives, those that want to come in and you're working on something. You can come in, we listen to music, chill, have a good conversation. The Sounds of Heartbreak series is in Amazon for ebook readers. It's also on the TikTok shop for those that like paperbacks. It is an emotional roller coaster bound to piss you off and make you want to come see about me. We're trying to get a party bus together because everybody won't come see about me. And I have a song that says, I ain't never scared. So.
There we go.
I would definitely check it out. I got my Kindle prepped and ready.
Right. Yes, please.
Come on, because you're going to be like, what the fuck was this?
She over here leaving cliffhangers and shit.
Right. I'm prepared. Now that I know, I'm prepared.
I will say, I did it on purpose. That's my hashtag. I did it on purpose.
Okay. CC, you just want people to follow you on TikTok, or you got something coming up?
I have nothing. I'm still fake.
We're gonna get you something.
I'm a repost your shit.
And a share.
He's the professional secretary, y'all. Listen, she got y'all.
Yes, I love to support. That's where I best fit in because I don't want no more on my plate. So I do know that.
And we all need our
minimum.
Got you. Right. Anything that's considered to be extroverted, y'all be avoiding it. But go ahead. Diva, you got it. You introvert extroverts.
I'm not an extrovert at all. But I have a sports podcast called Sports Sense. And new episode dropping sometime this week. Don't know the exact date because, I'm just random. But also every Wednesday night at 7:27 p.m. Eastern, I host Big Up Your Biz on CRV Diva on TikTok, Sports Sense. And like Sense, CYNTS. on Instagram and CRV Diva on Facebook, where you come in and talk about your business, your event. If you're a crafter, a podcaster, any entrepreneur, small business owner, unless as long as it's legal, not something that the police or the feds will come after you for. Don't do that on my show. Don't do that. But come on and talk about it. I want to talk to you. I want you to tell people how they can find you. And Butterfly and Bologna Podcast, I want to see y'all on there Wednesday. RK, I want to see you on there Wednesday. Basic was there last week, and it was awesome. CC was on last week. Mike, yeah. Anyway.
Oh no, I dipped on y'all.
Mike was week before.
I went to bed.
Right. So, follow me on all those places. Big Up Your Biz also has a page on TikTok. I'm also a crafter. I make bracelets and stuff. But anyway,
I love it.
I want to see all of y'all. And you know what? We can all win together.
I love it because I'm big on crafting. I got my little studio right here.
Oh, well, yeah, we definitely need to talk because
I understand. You don't have to say nothing. I get it. I'm not going to pan this camera over. I get it.
Oh, hilarious.
I'm telling you, but
okay.
No, we definitely CRV. We definitely gonna pop in, Tony and I.
Yay.
Okay. So we got the basic one.
Hi, it's just me.
Oh.
It's just me and Mike on Wednesdays at 7. I'm at just basically everywhere, you guys. You can find me the same thing at just_basic_lead everywhere. That's it. I don't do anything. Every once in a while I'll go live and ramble about movies.
No, her lives be chill. Just how she is right now, it be in her lives just like that. But everybody want to get married to her.
Basic's lives are awesome because the guys that be in the comments
exactly.
It's hilarious.
They just want to marry her the whole time.
They lose. It's a little weird, y'all. I get random proposals this week.
Now we're trying to do something. And Basin don't want to scissor with me.
Lord Jesus.
You just made it sound even worse. You're right, I don't.
Well, part of it, you're going the wrong way.
No, like
because my camera's inverted.
And she keeps saying
my camera's inverted.
She's
so it's this way.
You.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Right, I kept telling him you're going the wrong way.
No, I'm inverted. I'm inverted.
I know, but I said you're going the wrong way, and you wouldn't change up the direction of your head.
Because my brain ain't registered.
I was like, I'm not on that side.
Like that's not it.
So you don't want to.
No, it's not happening.
All right. You don't want to do that?
No. I don't.
I can't.
Don't that shit look dope?
It doesn't. It doesn't look dope.
All right.
I wouldn't describe it that way. No.
I can't.
All right, cool. Anyway, I'm gonna finish it off. But once again, like I said, thank y'all for joining me. I had a fun one. It's a really, really good starting podcast. It was really, really good. That was a lot of people that looked at this.
We're back.
Yeah, we back like cook crack. This is Philly shit. Don't worry about this. This is Philly shit.
I'm about to say, I say that all the time.
Yeah, I mean, anyway.
Beg like cook crack.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that BDC going on. All right, so yeah, I'm one of your hosts, co-hosts, Mr. Hennessy. Follow me on the Tikia Talks, Twitch. What else am I on? I'll be gaming and shit. So I play games. It's fun. I'll be having a good old time all to myself, even if I got to play it by myself. Me and my cousin B for Barkers, we fight for democracy all the time. So, we having fun doing that. And then them two, we fight for democracy with them two. It was a horrible situation.
It was horrible. They
had no guns. They had nothing ready.
They sent us on look at that, it's a piece of candy mission while they was on the other side killing people.
And y'all was good. Y'all was good.
We was not good.
Yes,
we were not.
You hear screaming and somebody getting brought back. Throw them over there. So thank you, Rachel. Rachel was asking. She was another one that texted me like,
right?
How y'all been? So I do have something that I'm working on right now. I was trying it with TikTok Talks, but me and TikTok need to have a conversation because I don't know why I got booted off, but it told me I had a restriction. I did something, and I'm like, what did I do? It's my podcast. I ain't do nothing. We ain't do. It just said I had a restriction, but then it was like, okay, didn't ban me, didn't do nothing. I just got a restriction saying that the content wasn't mine. I'm like, my face is in here. What are you talking about? Them damn bots. So what I'm thinking about doing is replaying it on Wednesdays because then my face is on there. I'm able to talk and it won't confuse it because I've played 2 podcasts already. So this will get reviewed, but I am working on the TBC podcast. Me and my uncle are going to come back, and that is a dope podcast. That was one of the ones that kind of got me really into it.
I was just answering Ray. I was answering Ray's question. She said, "Do we scissor on the podcast?"
No, she ain't scissoring me. That's crazy. So we bringing that back when we talk about sports and other stuff, like still from the perspective of Gen X and me being a millennial, how it looks for us, these different things, and then coming up with conversations and different topics. Talk sports, talk everything, just have some fun with it. But we also doing TBC production, which Butterfly Assassin and Tony Baloney is going to partner up, not join up, but partner up, where they brand and stand with them. But we're going to just create something special where we create content, we sharing each other stuff out, we getting these numbers up because the goal is, and we live on YouTube, Knuckles, y'all got to pay us. That's how I want it. Y'all going to pay us. I know we've reached 200 plus followers, so that's a celebration. We got 200 plus followers.
Yeah, that's
a celebration on our own. The goal is to get to 1,000, and to make sure Tony Baloney and Butterfly Assassin get to 1,000. Make sure Cynthia, if she chooses to partner up with us, get to 1,000. Let's go ahead and get RK these books read so we can get her paid. You know what I mean? That's the goal. And whatever CC going to do as a secretary, get her paid too. A professional secretary, yeah, give it to my typewriter. Nah, but basic everything that me and her is doing, take care of it. Right now, like I've made money on TikTok because of the replays of the podcast. Half of that is going to basic.
Wait, what?
I don't even know. Yeah, when I get paid, half of it is going to you. So, because that's our podcast, I can't profit off of it. It's our thing. So, what did he say? Oh, a Chief is all the way back. I just realized that.
Oh,
that was about 2 hours ago. He gonna get to this point and be like, "Oh shit." Somebody sent Chief a message and say, "Hey, fast forward about 2 hours." Even though it ain't gonna be no show, fast forward about 2 hours. Thank you, moms. Mom Dukes, thanks for joining. But I'm gonna let everybody go ahead and get out of here. I hope that y'all enjoy y'all evening. Next week, men's mental health awareness. Chief most likely will be here for that. Hopefully, she wanted that heart to be there bad.
The little thing.
Oh, she got it again.
It's the little things. Do the peace signs.
Oh, the peace signs. I don't know if it'll work. Sometimes these are really finicky. Confetti.
Ooh. And I think if you put your hands in the air like fireworks.
I think I get balloons sometimes. I don't know.
We all watch it. We all watch it.
I'm waiting for the show.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Hold on, I'm trying to end the show. God damn. Stay on page. Wait, I don't want to leave the studio. How the fuck I end the show? Oh, all right, there it is.